The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Good morning, pop culture. We are live. It is Tuesday, November 27th, 2018, 7:50 a.m., and it's time to get started with Good Morning Pop Culture. So before we even start today's show, we got a super chat from our friend Chris Wicks that says, "Sup, Jeff? Absent for Good Morning Pop Culture. Be at High Council. Hail Doomcock." So just wanted to get that out of the way. So thank you to Chris Wicks, who sent a preemptive super chat to the channel. We appreciate it. And now, let's start talking about today's show as well as tonight's. So last week, the High Council, I guess, had Cecil or somebody on it. I don't really know what went down. I was really sick. I was out of commission. But since Ethan had it, Jeremy was supposed to have it, and that's why it's here. And then Jeremy's going to have it next week, and then we get back into the rotation. For those out there wondering about the confusion, I was confused myself. But I'm excited to have the show tonight. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about, as always, and it's going to be fun. There's going to be lots of pie, lots of hail and doomcock, and lots of fun. So speaking of fun, what are we going to talk about today? Well, first off, we're going to be talking about this faux Luke Skywalker, and not faux as in F-O-E, as in the bad guy of The Last Jedi. No, F-A-U-X, as in fake. So there's an image rolling around social media with a couple tweets talking about this faux Luke Skywalker. And the first thing I thought to myself is, what is this? It actually was going to be a part of The Force Awakens. So we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to be showing it to you in just a few moments' time. But we're also going to be talking about the Aquaman early reactions, possible plagiarism from Deadpool, the Christmas version, and a few other things that are going to make you think. So, let's see, we are already at 114 viewers, so as soon as we get to that 200 marker, we will start the show. So, good morning to everyone out there in Radio Land, Internet Radio Land, Social Media Land, I don't know, whatever land you're in. This could be Mushroom Kingdom, Donut Plains, Vanilla Dome. Wherever you are, good morning and welcome to Good Morning Pop Culture. On World Class Bullshitter, soon to be the People's Republic of Pop Culture, according to one of our listeners. Now, I don't know if he's here yet this morning, but our friend Mareth had sent in a super chat yesterday as well as we went off the air. So I want to make sure that it gets read as a thank you because, it's what we do here on the channel. I refuse to not read the super chat. So Mareth had this to say yesterday. I almost forgot to say, did you hear about the Tumblr purge where someone is going around Thanksgiving? Sorry, excuse me. I also heard about the Tumblr purge where somewhere around Thanksgiving, Tumblr decided to delete all the NSFW boards. I had heard Tumblr was having some issues, and I thought, oh, it couldn't have happened to a nicer website consortium. But I was not aware that it was the NSFW pages that were getting shut down on Tumblr. So now I know a little more of the information. I've been checking out the whole premium Snapchat thing. And it's a clusterfuck. It's a big, ugly thing. So you can try to pull the wool over a lot of people's eyes. You can dupe, you can deceive, but you can't get away with not paying your damn taxes. So, folks, there's your life lesson from me here at World Class Bullshitter, soon to be the People's Republic of Pop Culture. Pay your taxes and don't go to jail. It looks like people are reporting these Snapchat models. I don't know if it's a joke or a rumor, but I keep hearing it on Reddit. I keep hearing it all over. And I just don't know what to do besides laugh. It's a very quartering-esque story. We usually cover the pop culture aspect of it, but it was too funny not to mention in the opening of today's show. So, we have Alpha Terranema. Thank you very much, Alpha Terranema. Punished Luke. A man denied his alien green milk. He's had all he can have, and he's full of said green milk, but he wants more. He's hooked on the milk, the grilk, if you will. Rama, thank you very much. Is there an anime called like Rama One Half or One Half Rama or something like that? I know I've heard of it. Kylo changes his name to Luke Skywalker. Oh God, the angstiest of all Star Wars. Kylo Luke Skywalker, the man for the douchebag formerly known as Kylo Ren. That'll be his new name. He'll turn himself into a symbol, just a big floppy. You know what? So it is Rama One Half. Okay. Ranma One Half. Okay. I was close. Ranma, Lama Ding Dong. Close enough. You know, I'm trying to make the connections. I'm trying to learn about the stuff you guys want me to talk about. It's a process, but it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. For those out there that want me to stream Spider-Man, I'm going to make it happen. It's the best video game I've played this year. Favorite video game in a long time. And I know people are like, Red Dead's better. I have them both, and I'll go with Spider-Man. Red Dead is a fantastic game. Spider-Man is paced better, has a more compelling gameplay mechanic system. I actually want to get better at Spider-Man. Red Dead, all I want to do is run around and shoot people. I'm tired of riding my damn horse. The Grand Inquisitor, thank you very much for your super chat. The Tumblr page wasn't NSFW pages. It was pages that were showing, bad stuff. Yeah, okay, I'm not even going to say those words, Grand Inquisitor, but I know you're cool with the channel, so you know what's up. That is messed up. That is not cool in any regards, and good riddance to all that stuff. That is gross. That is gross. I'd love to take Ollies to the land down under, Australia, but I can't. It's it's up to them to bring their shitty stuff to you guys. But before we start, because we have now hit our 200 viewers, we are going to have a video go live right after Good Morning Pop Culture. A little right after. It's done, it's rendered, it's ready to go. But it is about the remnants of Toys R Us. So you're going to get to see what actually happened to all the back stock at a Toys R Us. Not just a Toys R Us, many at Toys R Us. We went to many and Ollie's to check out the toys, and you'd be surprised some of the stuff you found. I mean, there are some crazy things out there. Just imagine this. Thomas the Tank Engine getting eaten by a shark. Yeah, that's a real thing. So be on the lookout for that. Salvador, thank you very much. Have you seen, / do you have the Amazon exclusive Marvel Legends Sentinel? It's incredible and to scale with the 6-inch figures. I saw that. I've seen the figure multiple times, and I saw it yesterday on Cyber Monday for $88, down from $99. I like it. I couldn't pull the trigger on a $99, a $99 Sentinel action figure. I did pick up some other Marvel Legends for about $6 a pop, Salvador, so I am still a Marvel Legends guy. I don't talk about it and then not pick them up. It's a fantastic toy line, but I've seen it. I want the Wolverine more than anything. I just want to collect the X-Men and a couple villains, so maybe if I can find it for $50, I'd pull the trigger on that one. But until then, $100 is a hard sell. I can think of all the other things I can get for $100, like a Mezco 1/12 collective figure or other things like that. Scythe and Jetter, thank you very much. We need a new colorist next year. Will you be free? I do not color, Scythe and Jetter. I do not. I farm out the coloring. I hire professional colorists. I can send you to a Facebook page that'll help you find colorists, but all the stuff you've seen of Stealing Solo was other colorists, because you don't want me to color. Because if I color, you're going to get very flat, basic Grand Theft Auto 3 style coloring. But if you want somebody more adept at coloring, just let me know via Facebook message or Patreon or however you connect to us, and I will let you know. I wish you the best of luck, and I will do what I can to help you connect with other creators. But I am not the colorist that you're looking for. Salvador says, well, now you do. Well, thank you, Salvador. By the way, folks, before we start talking about the other Luke Skywalker, make sure that you're free this Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, for our Star Wars live stream, hangout, whatever it's going to be. It's going to be here. It's going to be every Star Wars movie that George Lucas had a hand in. So episodes 1 through 6. There will be no Clone Wars. There will be no holiday special or spin-offs. Just straight episodes 1 through 6. So if you got that Brown Saga Collection box set from 2011 on Blu-ray, dust it off and join us for some Star Wars fun. And if you're a patron and you want to get involved, contact us. So far, Attack of the Clones, The Phantom Menace, and A New Hope have been spoken for. I'm pretty sure no one said Revenge of the Sith yet. If you have, and you've sent me the message on Patreon, you'll be on. So we can't have a ton of people on, just a few. But if you'd like to join us, let me know, and we'll make that happen on Saturday. So now let's start talking about the main topic for this morning. Now, I warn you folks, this isn't pretty. Be prepared. So, this is a cosplayer as Luke Skywalker? No, that is actually meant to be Luke Skywalker. So, hands up if you hated The Force Awakens. I just press 1. I can't see your hands, but I'll wait for a couple of moments. So, if you were like me, The Force Awakens did many, many stupid things that pissed you off. From bad character development to lack of character motivation, all sorts of silly, stupid things. But the one thing that pissed me off almost more than anything was the flashback sequence. And today I've learned that the flashback sequence from The Force Awakens, where's Wakens at? The Force Awakens could have been absolutely worse. So this image here is of an actor. I have his name. His name is... where'd it go? Shit. Something Bolter? Ryan Bolter? Anyway, here we go. His name is Robert Bolter. Excuse me. So this is a tweet from a guy named Adam Fraser. It says, Rey's Force vision in The Force Awakens originally included Luke and Vader's duel from The Empire Strikes Back. This scene was cut, but thanks to Reddit, we finally are getting our first look at what Empire Strikes Back Luke would have looked like in The Force Awakens, played by Robert Bolter. Wild stuff. So, from a fan perspective, this is without a doubt one of the worst choices for a Luke Skywalker surrogate. I don't know what you want to say. He somehow looks more like Hayden Christensen than Luke Skywalker, which I guess is impressive. Honestly, if you put this guy's head, or put this man with this haircut in a Revenge of the Sith costume, you'd have a pretty good stunt double for Hayden Christensen. But this dude is just a little too puffy for Luke Skywalker. The suit, the costume looks wrong. Aren't his boots a different color in The Empire Strikes Back? I'm pretty sure they are. I'll have to dig out one of my action figures. But his boots are a little closer to the color of his suit. And this just is sad. I can't believe this was going to be in the movie. But I can't believe I'm actually going to say that it was a smart decision on the part of someone. It could be Kathleen Kennedy. I don't know who made the call to not show him, but whoever made that call, good job on your part. Whatever you did, whoever you are, person, that was a smart decision on your part. This is not Luke Skywalker. This is Luke cosplayer. Shitty makeup, Force Effects lightsaber from Hasbro, your mom's boots that you borrowed on Halloween. And I can't believe that they were actually going to try to put this in a movie. Maybe they were going to CGI and shoot around the boots and other things like that. Believe me, I know about having inaccurate boots. Wait till Stealing Solo comes out. But this just is wrong, and I'm so glad that it wasn't actually in the movie. I wish the movie didn't exist, but, it could be. I can actually say, with 100% validity, it could have been worse. It could have been this. It could have been this. Our friend Social Owner sent in a generous super chat. Thank you very much, Social Owner. I think The Force Awakens, instead of going into hiding, Luke should have been held in a prison by the First Order, where his friends Han, Chewie, Lando, Wedge, etc. go on a mission to rescue him. See, when I just said it could have been worse with this Luke, it could have been better with a story like this. I know I use it as a joke sometimes, but I wish people would not tell me these things because I actually could get behind this and get excited. Luke Skywalker's been captured for 10 years. Oh my god, he's got the beard and the long hair, and he's been training, and Kylo Ren's been mocking him or stuff like that. That it could have been cool, but it wasn't. It was kind of just kind of shitty. But Social Loner, I like that idea quite a bit. I like the idea of having Wedge Antilles. I mean, imagine if Wedge was the pilot on the thing, and it was Han, Lando, and Chewie going to rescue Luke Skywalker with Princess Leia going on in the command role, and the new character, like Finn, is with the guys, and Rey is off doing her own thing, or she doesn't exist. I don't think we need a Rey character. She's too much like Luke. She's too poorly conceived. I don't like her at all, and neither do most of you. Marty McFlywalker. He does look pretty stupid. Yeah, so this image just popped up, and I wanted to put this out there as our main topic, because a lot of times we don't do videos on quick little news segments that are kind of empty. But there was enough to talk about this, and I got it right at the front of the show so people didn't have to wait. So when you check out the re-recording or the updated version later on the Good Morning Pop Culture channel, you will not have to wait but just a few short moments to get into this Robert Bolter, Luke Skywalker situation fiasco. Oh my god, people are calling him Fat Walker, Frodo Skywalkins, Jake Soywalker, Drag McGaywalker. Harsh words from the fans of World Class Bullshitters, but true words. You know, people can say whatever they want about this community. They're mostly wrong, but we are honest people. And that's all I can say about that. Here's a question for you guys in the chat. What is shittier? This guy, Robert Bolter's Luke Skywalker, or Alden Ehrenreich's Han Solo? I can't decide which is more offensive. I guess on just first appearance, I would go with Robert Bolter. But because his stuff has never been filmed, it will never see the light of day. If it has been filmed, we have Solo, a Star Wars story, to remind us what came and what went. So my vote is Alden Ehrenreich. And it looks like a couple people are agreeing that he looks like a meth addict. Oh, man. Thought Skywalker. Jesus, that is harsh. Yeah, shout out to the chat this morning. You guys are here every day, kicking ass. I appreciate you guys spending your mornings with Good Morning Pop Culture. Or it could be evening where you are. It could be the afternoon. If you're in the UK, what is it, about 1 o'clock? So, good afternoon, pop culture, to you. Marethialine, Jake Skybaggins. Also, I'm on Revenge of the Sith. Okay, you're on Revenge of the Sith. Then don't worry. If it's over on the Patreon, I got the messages in the inbox. I'll go back and I'll read all those. And I'll send everyone out a message with a link and a time and all of that stuff. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Here's the thing, being sick and being away from the channel really made me appreciate what I get to do. And it's this. And yesterday, I finished the page for the comic book, and then I did my stuff I had to do, and then I got back and made this video. And there's just all these things I'm doing for the channel constantly, but I'm pumped to do them. So this Saturday, you're going to get me at probably my happiest. I don't know if I'm going to do a little day drinking with some hashtag desk wine. I may go out and get a bottle. Who knows? I still got a little bit left of the desk wine from the other day. But I am going to have a great time. And Marethialine, finally going to get to talk to you, the master of the limerick. And I don't know if you heard it earlier, Marethialine, but I did read your super chat about Tumblr earlier in the show. So if you sent that before or after yesterday's show, just want to let you know, I won't leave you hanging, and I haven't. Bloat Skywalker. People are saying he looks more like Michael J. Fox than Luke Skywalker. He looks something. And by the way, good afternoon to Scotland, the entire country. Hello. I love your Walker shortbread cookies. I believe they're from Scotland. No matter where they come from, they're the best cookie in the world, next to my mom's chocolate chip. So, that is our Luke Skywalker something. It's funny how there's all these different Luke Skywalker news and rumors and all of these things. We're constantly talking about Luke Skywalker. We're constantly talking about, well, he was ruined, he was redeemed, he was this, he was that. I don't find Luke Skywalker to have been redeemed. I don't find Luke Skywalker to have been done well. I know somebody like Anna, that Star Wars girl, gets really, really passionate about Luke. I don't want to sound apathetic towards Luke Skywalker, but his appearance in Episode 9 does nothing for me. It does nothing for the film overall. The movie will come, it will go. There will be a lot of hype and a lot of build for the entire 2019. We'll have a great time. But after that, that's about it. That is about it. So, Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, love you to death, man. I would love to meet you one day. But until then, just what the fuck. I'm into film. Thank you very much. When did Mike Smith Trailer Park... When did Mike Smith Trailer Park get the Luke role? I don't know. They were pretty desperate. This little company, Disney, doesn't have a lot of money. They put all their money into this Star Wars IP. They're thinking, man, it's going to make us so much money over the next 10 years. And they tried, and everything lives and dies by Myth Skywalker over here. I feel so bad for them that they weren't able to afford real actors and real effects and sets and all of those things I'm into film. Poor Disney. I can dream that Disney will be poor one day. Let's see. How does the P.O. Box address go? WCBS show, Cincinnati, Ohio. WCBS show, P.O. Box 5069, Cincinnati, Ohio 45205. So, if you guys want to send something, let me know. When the light gets better today, I'm going to be filming our Tales from the P.O. Box video, so you guys are going to get to see what came in the mail, as well as me, because it's all new. So hopefully the audio turns out all right, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that. Maref Dealine says, I heard, and at last I will reveal myself to the Jedi. At last I will have my revenge. I hope the only revenge you'll have is of the Sith and not towards us. We would be so heartbroken. You've been listening this whole time. You're like the master planner or the higher power. It was me, Austin. Oh, son of a bitch. I saw... Ooh, almost dropped my coffee. I have seen and heard a little bit about the Lord of the Rings controversy. Let me pull that up. We'll check that out later in the show. And I haven't heard anything about Fallout. I wasn't going to buy Fallout, but let's see. Lord of the Rings, racist. If I can spell racist right. Wow. They've been going back to that since 2003. Chicago Tribune. I'll look into that. I put it like this. You can't be racist in Lord of the Rings. It can be many other things, but racist is not one of them. So, you guys are talking about this George Lucas Obi-Wan Kenobi thing also in the chat. It's bullshit. Because we talked about that many, many months ago. How they talked about a rumor of an Obi-Wan film being directed by George Lucas. They discussed George Lucas and Disney. And that really never came to be. All the spin-offs were then canceled. And it gets confusing. So, I'll talk about it for a moment. Over on Geek Tyrant, they said, could George Lucas be planning on directing the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie for Lucasfilm? Several months ago, it was reported that George Lucas visited Belfast Paint Hall Studios to check out shooting locations for the Obi-Wan Kenobi film that Lucasfilm had been reportedly developing. While we weren't sure why Lucas would be visiting the shooting location because we all thought that he had been done with Star Wars when he sold Lucasfilm to Disney, there was another director attached at the time. Well, over the weekend, former UK Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson gave a speech at the DUP annual conference in Belfast and ended up dropping Lucas's name as a possible director for the Obi-Wan movie. He says, by far the most dynamic creative culture and media industries. He went on to ask the question, which was the biggest grossing of the movies last year? Star Wars, and where does George Lucas propose to make the follow-up about Obi-Wan Kenobi? Northern Ireland. I don't look at that as a... oh my god, it's the next Star Wars movie confirmed. I always take that as, yeah, Boris Johnson doesn't realize that George Lucas doesn't make Star Wars movies anymore. It'd be like saying, oh my god, Terrence Young's going to make the next James Bond movie and it's going to be great. Well, Terrence Young's been dead for close to 30 years, sadly. And secondly, he only made 3 of them. So the name Lucas and Star Wars are synonymous. Lucasfilm carries his name and will for the end of time. Well, until it goes out of business, thanks to Kathleen Kennedy. But I digress. So I do not believe that Lucas will be directing Obi-Wan at all. He may have been in Ireland for something else, and people think of him as the Star Wars guy. So many people associate Lucas with Star Wars, as they should. He was the creative force behind a good chunk of it. Not all of it, a good chunk. A good third, if you will. And people still associate him with that. Much like people mistake Pretty in Pink for a John Hughes movie, when I believe it's Howard Deutsch. I just think it's the situation with that. That's the situation with Boris Johnson. He Johnsoned his speech. Oh yeah, George Lucas and Star Wars. So I don't think that's going to happen. But if it does happen, cool. But remember, folks, Lucas only got one prequel truly right out of the 3. We look back on them fondly because they're better than what we're getting from Disney, and believe me, I'm not going to all of a sudden act like Disney Star Wars is even decent, or passable, or I have a positive thing to say about it. But I want an Obi-Wan film to star Ewan McGregor, and quite frankly, I really don't care who directs it, unless it's a hungry George Lucas to prove that he still got it. I would love to see him direct it and be like, this is how you do a Star Wars movie, bitches, and then he kind of mic drops and walks away. He could really cement, or he could really change the legacy and the perception of his prequel-era Star Wars with one truly excellent Logan-esque Obi-Wan Kenobi style film. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know the future. I don't come from the future with future Star Wars content, so I can't tell you guys exactly what's going to happen. Observer Dude, thank you very much. Mark Hamill thought that in The Force Awakens, Luke and Leia should have reunited after she contacted him through the Force, and then they both witnessed Han's death. Can we just stop talking about Han's death? I'm not over it. Never going to be over it. Honestly, though, all joking aside, again, it's better than what we got in the movie. I think Luke and Leia should have reconnected, and then that they should have had that moment on the ice planet. I think Luke should have been the one to grab the lightsaber from Kylo Ren. Because imagine the moment, because Rey shouldn't know how to lightsaber duel. It was a stupid thing. There are ways you could save portions of that movie had you not pushed for your agenda-driven Star Wars. Now, maybe some of the ideas behind it weren't agenda-driven. They just came off dumb. And then they backtracked and went the agenda-driven way. You know what? I take that back. I'm thinking about all the dumb shit she said in that movie. Definitely agenda-driven. The thing I like about Princess Leia is that she's not a Jedi. The only Force use she ever did was, contacting or feeling or sensing things. So I do enjoy the possibility that she contacted Luke through the Force. And then in the next one you learn why he maybe had gone away or where he was. Maybe Luke doesn't have to hide. I think the whole map to Luke Skywalker is one of the dumbest elements in any film. The map to Luke Skywalker. What is this? The Lost City of Tanis? Are they going to get the headpiece to the Staff of Ra? Is the sun going to rise and hit the crystal and tell you where the Well of Souls is and find out that the Nazis are digging in the wrong place? No, this isn't Indiana Jones. This is Star Wars. We don't worry about maps and charts and all this other crap. I think the only time they ever look at a map may have been in The Empire Strikes Back when Han's trying to figure out where they are. I think they were in the Noyad system. And Lando's system? No, Lando's not a system. He's a man. That's like the only time they ever use a map in Star Wars. They never use fuel in the original trilogy. They don't say, gotta gas up the Falcon there, Chewie. No, punch it, Chewie, hit the light speed, all that crap like that. It's when they start adding things from the real world that don't work. Like, they were always kind of slick with Star Wars, at least in the original one. They don't talk about the denominations of money. They'll just say, 15,000 all in advance, or 10,000 all in advance, and 17, they must be desperate. 20%. Okay, we assume it's money. We don't know what kind it is. Royal Dectarians, Republic credits. Then you get too sci-fi, and then you get too bogged down and dumb. But JJ went one step further with that whole real world association, the map to Luke's. I would have been what? So that was 2013 when they were working. So I've been 25 years old when they were working on that movie. I would have loved to have been the largest fly in history on the wall. Like, hey, don't mind me, I'm just listening in. I would have loved to have been there and been like, what the hell are they thinking? I can't even... I keep saying the map to Luke Skywalker, but it keeps making me laugh. Every time I say it, I just think it's dumber and dumber, man. Like, what do you got to do to get a creative job in Hollywood? Be an asshole? I mean, I should just change who I am and get jobs in Hollywood. And then, covertly try to make good stuff. They'd be like, man, Jeff, you sold your soul to Hollywood. Guys, it's all part of the plan. And then, boom, movies are saved. You turned your backs on me. Now I'm back. You open your arms and welcome me in, and all the day is saved. We want the map to Star Wars. You're damn right. Mareth Dealine, thank you very much. It was I that allowed the Alliance to know the location of the shield generator. It is quite safe from Disney's pitiful little band. Oh my god. The fucking Emperor. I love him. He is so over the top in Revenge of the Sith. So over the top. I was like, no. And he fucking electrocutes Mace Windu out the window. Oh my god. I'm looking forward to Saturday. Saturday's going to be a fantastic time. I've been missing these fan streams. Reptilian also says, an entire legion of my best YouTubers await them. Oh, I'm afraid the deflector shield will be quite operational when Disney arrives. I will infiltrate, or I will go a Scanner Darkly on Hollywood. I like that reference. I like that movie. Back in high school was when I started to find those websites where you could stream like bootleg movies, and I saw a black and white copy of A Scanner Darkly. And I thought it was crazy. And I really liked it. I haven't watched it in years, admittedly. But 19-year-old me, well, I would have been in college at 19. But my point is, 2006, 2007 me really liked it. I don't know what they'll do with Luke in Episode 9. If I had to venture a guess right now, off the top of my head, in November of 2018... I'd say he reunites with the Force mid-movie, and he and Kylo Ren and Rey fight, and Kylo Ren redeems himself but then dies, and then Luke and Rey ride off into the sunset with a nice warm bottle of tequila. So, don't worry about my humanity being lost if I infiltrate Hollywood. I got a backup disc of my, good quality somewhere hidden in this office. The map to the true Jeff Hicks is somewhere in this office. Can you find it? Just don't look inside the deodorant container. It's 2006 Jeff as tall as me. Yeah, I've been this tall since I was like 14, 15 years old. So that would have been like 2004 Jeff. Yeah. That's all I can say. So I'm really at a loss for anything outside of this Star Wars news. Tonight on the High Council, we'll talk about the Yoda puppet and how they hated the one from Episode 1. All kinds of fun stuff. When EVS, Doomcock, and myself get together, it's a lot of fun. I felt really bad. Like, I'm going to tell the guys this week, because I haven't really spoken to them. I said I felt terrible that I couldn't make the show last week. I actually downloaded Hangouts for my phone. I was going to lay in bed, and I was going to try to be on the show because I was that dedicated. I was like, I got to be there. I can't leave them hanging. It didn't happen. So I'm glad EVS and Jeremy are cool about that kind of stuff. I don't need to get a note from my doctor. It's not like I'm in, grade school or something. So let's see what we're going to talk about now. Somebody sent me the film theory about all your memes are dead for Article 13. I'm going to check that out. I like Matt Pat enough. I respect him, we'll put it like that. I don't watch his videos anymore. But I respect what the dude's built on YouTube. And there was a point in time where I thought game theory was amazing, as well as film theory. So Out of respect for him and our listeners that have sent me his newest video, I will check that out just for fun and see where we go. So, let me talk about one thing. Let's talk about the Deadpool plagiarism real quick. I thought this would be a nice, fun, transitional story. But first, we had a £5 super chat. That's a message retracted, so thank you. The Pui says, "Good morning, Jeff." Question mark, question mark, question mark. The Pui, hello? Good morning to you, my friend. It is a good morning. Whenever we got Good Morning Pop Culture rolling, I'm happy. You guys are happy. The People's Republic of Pop Culture are happy. So, okay, so Maret Theoline says, "Emperor is my favorite character, and although the original trilogy is about Luke and the saga 1 through 6 is about Vader, episode 3 is Palpatine's movie." Very true. I've always said that The Empire Strikes Back is Vader's movie. Luke's movie is more A New Hope and Return of the Jedi, but Vader is the star of The Empire Strikes Back. And he struts in that movie. His armor's all shiny and perfect. He walks around the Executor's Bridge like he owns the place. Love it. And the nice part about that, and this is a little preemptive discussion from Saturday, or for Saturday, I should say, you get to see some of his vulnerabilities, the scar on his head. You see Vader subservient to his master and all that stuff, but he still whoops the shit out of everybody else, including our heroes. So Vader, man, he is the star of that film. And I love Darth Vader. Darth Vader is the greatest film villain of all time. Because to some people, he's not evil. That certain point of view thing really has a lot of weight to it. Much like Magneto. Is Magneto really the villain of X-Men? I don't know. His methods may be wrong from a certain point of view, but his goal, pretty noble if you ask me. Now, I don't think Vader's goal is noble to wipe out the Jedi, but he wanted to save Padme, and he was clouded and corrupted by Palpatine's evil master plan and all that stuff, and then he redeems himself by saving his son, bringing balance to the Force, and dying a hero. I think everybody loves a good redemption story. That's why we praise Robert Downey Jr. the way we do on the channel. Sire J. Longstroke, thank you very much. Let's not forget about what Carrie Fisher explicitly called Rian Johnson an asshole. I wonder what that was all about. Wasn't it on the Last Jedi commentary? Oh, I have never watched the film with the commentary. I can't. I've misplaced my Blu-ray of The Last Jedi, probably to keep myself sane so I don't have to look at it. But I'm sure Carrie Fisher's passing removed a lot of hostility from the possible hostility from the social media of The Last Jedi. Just imagine when Mark Hamill had said something about how I disagree with your character or something like that, and all that stuff was coming out, and we were talking about, oh, do they hate Mark Hamill? Then Carrie Fisher goes, yeah, they're treating you like shit, blah, blah, blah. Imagine both of them coming out of the woodwork to say that kind of stuff. Because in today's climate, if you had Carrie Fisher say it, people would be like, oh my God. And, she didn't pull any punches or hold her tongue. So I'm pretty sure she called him an asshole. Maybe it was a joke. But Rian Johnson is one. So you are what you eat, Rian Johnson. And I don't dig you, man. Enjoy your life. Stay the fuck out of Star Wars. Yeah, Darth Vader is the kind of guy you don't want to piss off. I mean, when he accepts your apology, you're dead. That's why one of the best moments of that film for me, at least in terms of suspense, is when the Millennium Falcon hits the hyperdrive and Admiral Piet is like, oh shit. And then Vader turns around and leaves. And you don't see him for the rest of the movie. That's his exit of the film. I think that's one of the scariest moments. Not Luke in the cave, not Luke fighting on the catwalk. No, when Vader turns around, you're like, oh shit, here goes poor Admiral Piet. And then boom, nothing. Ooh. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, Darth Vader is better than Thanos, but Thanos was damn good. As society and entertainment gets shittier and shittier, what we have pales in comparison to what we've had in the past, and while Thanos is the best that we've had in quite a while. I like Loki. I thought Loki had some layers of depth to him. And hear me out for a moment. The reason I liked Loki the way I did is the scene where he and Thor were on top of Stark Tower, and he goes, end this, I can help you or whatever. Or you can go back to Asgard. He says something along those lines. And then Loki thinks about it for a minute. I'm like, oh man, cool. There's a shred of humanity inside of him. And then he stabs Thor and flies off. But there's that moment. Kind of like how Vader goes, there is no conflict, and he still defends the Emperor, and then eventually does what he's got to do. But yeah, Thanos beats all the Marvel villains. But he's damn good, though. He's damn good. He's no Vader good. But like I said, then again, who is? Yes, he would win on a kill count, but damn it, when you can snap half of existence out of existence, well, that's not really fair. Vader had a lightsaber, the Force, and Order 66, and the Great Jedi Purge, and that's about it. It's not like he, has that kind of a superpower. See, in Marvel, remember, where magic and science are one and the same. That's where Thor comes from. That's like my favorite line of that movie. The Force and science and all that stuff are a little different. There's not so much magic as it is... I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to use the midichlorians to describe Star Wars, but at the same time, I don't want to... I don't want to discredit the possibility. Yeah, I do. Fuck it. It's a mystical energy force that surrounds us, penetrates us, combines us. That's the shit right there. That's Star Wars. So, this was interesting to me. Death Star. Well, remember, folks, the Death Star had just become fully operational in that first movie. Alderaan got destroyed. We don't know the population of Alderaan, but we knew that Thanos snapped half of Earth's population, so that's what, 3.75 billion people? I don't know the population of Alderaan. Could be less, could be more. We'll have to find out, but I wouldn't attribute that to Darth Vader. I'd attribute that to Grand Moff Tarkin. So, Grand Moff Tarkin's genocidal, not Darth Vader. So some people like midichlorians, some people don't like midichlorians. Marethialine says, favorite Jedi, go. Mine is Kenobi and Dark Woman. I'm going to go simple. I'm going to go Luke Skywalker. That's what I really grew up with. That was when I cared. I like Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'd say he's the best prequel character. I even like Anakin. But the side ones like Ki-Adi-Mundi and Plo Koon and all those guys that have episodes in the Clone Wars are fun. I'm glad they exist. I think they look cool. I love their robes. Obviously, the lightsaber is one of the greatest movie weapons of all time. But I just don't get attached to them the same way I did Luke. I will buy, well, not anymore, but I would buy Luke Skywalker merchandise until the end of time. And, this could be childish of me, but I do like to imagine where he went next in my mind. I don't like to think, oh, he was a shitty uncle who tried to kill his nephew, even though he could redeem his father, and then he ran off to hide in seclusion and crash his X-Wing like a drunkard. That ain't Luke Skywalker to me. That ain't Luke Skywalker to me. That's a good point. Millions of voices cried out in terror, so Alderaan sounds less populated than Earth. Okay, well, we'll go with that. Let's say even if it's 100 million on a planet, Thanos still has the new lap record for kill counts. Clone Wars justified the Jedi Masters. Yes, I wish... The messed up part is when we talk about Star Wars, and it's a good discussion like it is right now, I get excited, like, for a moment, I'm like, man, should I turn on my PlayStation and let the Clone Wars play while I stream this morning? And I thought, no, I'll get distracted. We won't be able to get through the show properly. But, I thought about it for a moment. I actually thought about doing a live stream for, Star Wars Racer Revenge, not the N64 one. There's one for the PS2. I have it on my PS4, and I thought, I should stream that. You guys love Star Wars content. We can talk about the prequels, and I can stream a Star Wars prequel video game. Hell, maybe we'll even do Bounty Hunter down the road. The closer we get to Christmas, Good Morning Pop Culture, when people are on Christmas break, there will be shows, but the streams will go a little later in the day since people will be off work. They don't want to get up at the crack of dawn. I'll be doing the pages, and I'll have to shift my sleep cycle to do more pages and sleep a little later into the day. I agree. Everybody needs to send Jeff nice stuff to his P.O. box. Star Wars stuff. We'll create a collection here in the office exclusively of stuff from the P.O. box, and I will remember who sent what. I'll try to catalog it as I get each piece, and I'll start now since I haven't even opened anything. We'll catalog each piece, and that way when somebody's like, do you have this? I'll go, yeah, so-and-so from Minneapolis sent that in. And that'd be awesome. It will be awesome. It's already here. I do need a Star Wars GTA mod. I really do. Imagine me in that infinite director mode with a lightsaber, a blaster, and you know that chain gun from the Clone Wars? That just shoots lasers and boom, 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 boom. That'd be crazy. But I want to do it with Darth Vader. Or a fast Darth Vader. Not like a slow plotting Darth Vader. I want to be able to run up a wall as Darth Vader or something stupid. Oh my god, if you guys send your copies of The Last Jedi to me, I will take them, I will say thank you, and I will index them as I burn them at Phil's house. He bought a new fire pit, so if you guys want to see The Last Jedi get melted on a live stream, if only I could get away with it, I would play that Force music that plays when they burn Darth Vader, because we'll turn Phil's backyard into the Forest Moon of Endor for one night only. And I would play that music and stand there in a black outfit, and you'd film me from the back as the flames fly away. That'd be amazing. No, I'm still not a Simpsons fan. God, I'm so pumped for the High Council. I just want to keep talking about Star Wars today. Fuck, I want to watch them. I don't want to look at this picture of Luke. And guess what? I haven't made you guys look at it for quite a while. So, here's a question, folks. We have more topics. We can talk about the Deadpool plagiarism, positive SJWs in comic books, or Aquaman. So, 1 for Deadpool, 2 for positive SJWs in comic books, or 3 for Aquaman. We're going to cover them all today, but you guys can pick what's next. Oh, Lost Cause 78. That is messed up. Does that include pregnancies? Could you imagine if Thanos snapped a mom out of existence? But the baby... Oh my god, that'd be nasty. Ugh. I didn't think of shit like that. Okay, so, a lot of rolling in. A lot of 3s. Looks like 3s are the predominant vote. Okay, Waterman. So, okay, fine. Since mostly 3s rolled in, we'll talk about Aquaman. Or Aquaman. So, yesterday I talked about the Aquaman trailer and how I was interested in watching the film. Now, the early reviews are coming out, and it's getting hugely positive praise. And I'm going to read you a couple of the positive praise and then give you my take on this whole situation. And while I read it, let's look at a really nice picture of Amber Heard, because she is gorgeous. I don't really like redheads that much, but I like Amber Heard. So, there we go. There's Amber Heard. And this information comes from JoBlo.com. With less than a month to go before the release of James Wan's Aquaman, the first official reactions to the much-anticipated DC Comics film have been finally revealed. Thankfully, most seem to walk away from the screening feeling more than satisfied with the over-the-top action, spectacular visuals, and Jason Momoa making the role his own. Here's an assortment of reactions to help you get pumped for the upcoming film, including a few of our own from Paul Shirley and Jimmy O. I don't know who the hell either of those are. So this Paul Shirley guy says, short and sweet reaction to Aquaman is that I loved it. It's a comic book movie through and through, with great action, iconic moments, and visual spectacle to spare. Momoa makes the character his own, and Wan honors the traditional aspects, but elevates it to the modern era. It's a blast. And then he also goes on to say, I'll take some heat for this, but Aquaman is the best Marvel movie that DC has ever made. That doesn't exactly mean that I like the formula, but it's like a film that knows what it is, what it's selling, and who it's selling it to. There is no identity crisis here. And then this Jimmy the O guy says, I've seen Creepy Puppets, Aquaman movie, and A Terrific Adventure. Jason Momoa and Amber Heard are fantastic together, both bringing a ton of humor. This is good stuff. It also happens to be gorgeous to look at. Check out the full review on JoBlo.com. We got people saying it absolutely delivers. It looks great. It's the best DC film. It's the most ambitious DC movie to date. A big sprawling visual spectacle that is crazy gorgeous, stuffed with terrific action and lots of fun to watch. James Wan, in my opinion, is the true star. He elevates the material, makes it entertaining, and conquers it. So it's just praise after praise after praise. Now, you guys know my take on Aquaman. I really want to see the movie. But we need to be objective here. Early reactions are not an indicator of guaranteed quality or success. People were praising Suicide Squad before it came out. People were praising Justice League before it came out. Justice League is polarizing, Suicide Squad is garbage, and Justice League was not a hit at the box office. You got to look at all these previous DC things and all these people because they get early access for a reason. It's their job. You know, people say, I'm a film critic. I say you're the advertising arm to Warner Brothers Studios, to Sony Pictures, to Disney, to all of these other places. No studio, no movie property, no franchise is safe from my critical eye about how you present yourself and what your benefits are for praising a movie. Now, could this movie be this great? Could be. Based on the trailer, I'm hooked. I was never interested in the concept, but I told you guys, I saw Justice League, loved Momoa. Then I saw the trailer from the other day. I was already on board. Now I'm really excited. So it's interesting and hopeful, at least from my point of view, that this could be great. You know, I'm going to go to the theater. I don't know if it's going to be a world-class bullshitters show. I don't know if it's going to be us going as a channel to watch it and review it that night. I don't know yet. We'll find out. All I can say to you is you guys are going to get a review eventually, and then I'm going to go see it when I can. And I'm pumped. I'm pumped. That's all I can say. But these reviews mean nothing. If it's a movie I hate, a movie I love, gotta be honest, early reactions are just early reactions from people that, you know, their job depends on how they talk about said movies. So what do you guys say about this? Oh, no, I better not have you interested in Suicide Squad. Since they're not filled with SJW speech, they might be speaking the truth. The thing I notice the most is James Wan praise in the visual spectacle. Everyone says how great it looks. That's what I take away from it. I love how Atlantis looks. I thought Asgard looked incredible in the first Thor. That shot where it was like upside down or whatever and like flipped the camera over and it went through Asgard. Even to this day, I go, damn, that looks good. I really like that. Cinema is... Okay, so comic books used to be the medium where people could get these sprawling fantasy landscapes that couldn't be done in movies. And now they can be. So that's why I think comic books also, the medium just doesn't really have too much life left in it. In terms of being this huge story device for, you know, the next generation. I know that's an odd thing to say, but I picked up this Savage Sword of Conan magazine. It's funny, for as much as I tell you guys, oh, I don't really like Conan the Barbarian, I fucking bought it the other day. I don't know why. But I look at that, and I think to myself, man, back in 70, let me give you guys a cover date. What year did this come out? Well, doesn't have a cover date, shit. It's issue 116, so let's say 1983. Back in 1983, you couldn't do this, and your fantasy films looked like shit. Now we live in a world where superhero action and all these things are the big movie. You know, back in the day, it was the comedies, it was the action films. Now it's the superheroes and the fantasy and the spectacle, and that's common. That's why Star Wars has lost its special touch, because it no longer is special on that front, and the people that are making it aren't deep enough to get what it truly means. So you have this, you have video games, you have all of these other ways to consume the big spectacle. Thankfully, based on this and from the trailers, Aquaman's not skimping. It looks cool underwater, the cities look great, all of this stuff looks fantastic. I just can't wait to watch it. And I'll give you guys an honest review. I'm not going to go in and say, oh, it's the greatest movie ever and all this other dumb shit, because while I'm excited, I know in my heart it's not going to be better than stuff like Spider-Man 2 or Infinity War or any of these other movies. I'm just going to be honest. If it's better than, I don't know, Black Panther, I'll tell you. But expect an honest review always. Like our friend Sketch Therapy says, you know, I have your wallet's interest at heart. I really do. I appreciate what you guys do for me, but when I go out and see a movie, The only thing I have to be is honest in a review. And I don't benefit from giving a movie, a good score or any kind of product. Like if somebody sent me, let's say a company sent me, I don't know, a beer. And I said, oh, it's a good beer. I really enjoy it. I'm not giving it a good review because I want, money from the company. I'm just telling you the honest truth. So understand that with Aquaman, it's going to be iffy. All I can ask you is that you take this movie as its own thing. Yeah, Suicide Squad, Man of Steel, BVS, garbage films. Wonder Woman, good. Justice League, controversial to some. Aquaman could be the best one. Who knows? It doesn't have the whole agenda on social media driving it forward. We're not going to have to hear about, whatever race Jason Momoa may be. Oh, we finally get a superhero that's this skin color. No, it's Jason Momoa. See, that is why I get mad about certain things when it's like, oh, the first black this or that. It's like, we're moved past that. I don't see the skin color in the same way that you guys do. It's a great hero that just happens to be black. Aquaman, white guy with blonde hair in the comics, like a reddish blonde hair. I don't care that he looks like Momoa with a beard, tattoos, and is Polynesian or some shit like that. Doesn't bother me, not one bit. I'm just so glad that the media's narrative is not about that with Aquaman. I think this movie is going to catch a lot of people off guard. They're thinking to themselves, "Oh, it's just DC fare around Christmas. Nobody cares." But if it's good, word of mouth will travel. And Aquaman could become the next Guardians of the Galaxy. That could be the DC Guardians of the Galaxy. Everybody thought it was going to be Suicide Squad with the fucking music and all the weird quirkiness and the hot topic this and that. And Harley Quinn, who didn't even belong in the movie. But it could be Aquaman. People could go, fuck, that was a cool movie. That's a good character. I'm in. And then people could go back and pick up the Jeff Johns run, which is good. They could pick up... Blackest Night is a Green Lantern title, but Brightest Day has some Aquaman stuff in it. And they could go back and pick up some of these other DC titles that they've never heard of. And they could have a lot of fun. They could really find themselves enjoying the character. And I love when I pick up a book that I don't think I'm going to like. Like, you give me a Spider-Man book of a certain era, I know I'm going to take pleasure in reading it. Especially if it's from any part of the 1980s, any part of the 60s, and a good chunk of the 70s. I'm going to have a fun time. But... picking up a book that I didn't know I'd like is the best thing. I picked up an old horror magazine the other week, and I was like, man, this was great. It had this weird story about these people who were put in a capsule, and they slept for like 100 years. And so they wake up, and the Earth has changed. And they get to this like cavern, and they're looking around for food and stuff. Or no, they're just looking around. And it turns out there's like subhuman mutant people. Like humanity has devolved and they don't like high-pitched sounds. And they have to fight off this like horde of mole people. It was cool. It was different. I like that. Let's see. Mareth Theoline says, thoughts on Hook with Robin Williams. Hook is a weird movie for me because when I was a kid, I had to go to the hospital. I wasn't hurt like in an accident or deathly ill. I had to go for some procedure as a kid to a hospital. And I remember eating tuna casserole, being hooked up to some IV or something, and watching Hook. So that's what I think of when I think of Hook with Robin Williams. Is it a bad memory? Not necessarily. But I was a different type of kid. I guess I would have been 5 when that happened to me. Guys, I mean it. Once I hit Power Rangers age, like literally nothing else mattered. No other movie, no other TV show. I did watch Spider-Man and stuff. But nothing was Power Rangers. And if anything else I had to watch, I was just waiting to go home and watch and play Power Rangers. So my thoughts aren't necessarily positive or negative. It's a movie. It's fine. Would I watch it again? Yeah. Maybe not for the channel, because I don't have a bunch to say about the Peter Pan lore. But I would give it a shot again. And I do remember the Rufy O part. That's like the only part I can remember off the top of my head. And I think Super Mario was in that movie with like a really shitty beard. Eddie Max of Andor has a really interesting question. If Aquaman farts underwater, can he smell it? I don't know how poop particles travel in the water. I think we should ask Neil deGrasse Tyson or Bill Nye. The greatest scientific minds of our time. You know what, folks? I'm going to write a tweet to Neil deGrasse Tyson, even though he's a space scientist. I'm going to be like, hey, what's his name? Jacques Cousteau's dead, so I can't ask Jacques Cousteau. But I'll be like, dear Neil, if Aquaman farts underwater, can he smell it? And if I can get 5,200 people to retweet that back to him, I'm going to get a response. See, we're growing in numbers all the time. We're getting to a point where if everybody just combines their effort, we can get the attention of anybody. And I do mean anybody. If, I don't know, Elon Musk got 5,000 tweets with the same question at us, he's going to at least see it. So if we really need to know Eddie Max Vandor's question, folks, let's combine our strengths and let's find out if Aquaman can smell the fart underwater. God damn it. What if Aquaman sharts? Oh, I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at this show. I just had a visual. Can somebody take this picture that we're looking at and just put a couple of bubbles right by Aquaman's shoulder and maybe make Amber Heard's eyes like slightly move over towards Aquaman so she acknowledges the sound, and Aquaman's just like, I hope she doesn't smell it. Blub, 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 blub. See, my grandma, the movies I would watch at my grandma's house were like the Disney animated movies that she'd keep over there. Well, now it's here because this is where I live, but she had a shelf upstairs with all of them for me. So, I don't know. Maybe I don't know why she never bought it. She would buy me live action movies. She bought me Willy Wonka. She bought me The Wizard of Oz. I watched The Wizard of Oz a lot as a kid. I really liked that movie. I watched Willy Wonka a lot too. Willy Wonka is one of the few musicals that I genuinely love. That and something else I like that's a musical. I guess Wizard of Oz. Those are the two musicals I like. Other than that, I don't do them. Let's see. Alpha Terranima says Atlantean oven. Man, if only I could live under the sea. You know what? I should ask that question about Ariel from The Little Mermaid. So, in the inevitable Little Mermaid live-action CGI hybrid remake, do you think there will ever be comparisons drawn to Aquaman in terms of the spectacle? Because I don't like The Little Mermaid. I know a lot of people out listening to this show don't give a shit about The Little Mermaid. But whatever comes first seems to get the credit. So, you know, Star Wars isn't the first space movie, but it's the first space movie in the next era of space movie crazes that set it off. So then you had Star Trek The Next Generation, not Next Generation, Star Trek The Motion Picture, you had Buck Rogers, and you had all these other sci-fi and spacey shows debut. With Aquaman hopefully being a hit, do you think that its spectacle will carry over to make comparisons to the inevitable Little Mermaid remake? I hope that people go, man, oh, I saw The Little Mermaid, blah, 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 but Aquaman did underwater stuff better. Because Aquaman's going to have fights and battles, and Little Mermaid's going to have musicals and a fucking crustacean that sings under the sea. Which, admittedly, that song isn't that bad, but I just don't dig The Little Mermaid whatsoever. Where does an Atlantean pee? I don't know. I don't really know the bathroom situation underneath water, because, you know, the suction and all that stuff. I'm sure there's like a chamber that decompresses the poo and all that stuff. Let's see. Kevin W. Clark, thank you very much for your super chat. That movie idea is just Wells' The Time Machine. Well, damn it. That's all I can say. Let me dream. I never saw The Time Machine. Admittedly, when you say The Time Machine, which I do know the story, I think of Back to the Future, even though that's not. Because H.G. Wells' Time Machine, there's that Guy Pearce movie that came out when I was in high school? Maybe grade school? I don't know. I saw The Count of Monte Cristo in like the 8th grade. But that was about it for Guy Pearce movies. The Spleen did fart superhero comedy long before Aquaman. Oh my god, The Spleen. God, you know what, Midnight Cherry TV? Next year, you and I are going to have a commentary for Mystery Men. And we're going to either we should put it on your channel and help promote it so you can get a bunch of new subscribers. Because I love that movie, and every time you talk about it, you cheer me up. You know, I finally saw Dunkirk on Black Friday as well. And the reason I'm bringing it up, you guys keep talking about Aquaman's farts. That's cool. I mean, that can be a thing on this channel. It doesn't bother me. But there was sea foam in the movie, and it kept making me like, I was like, what the hell is this? I know it's sea foam in the colors, but I'd never seen sea foam in a movie or in person. I was like, man, what is this? What is this? It's throwing me off. It's almost foreign and alien to me. Yeah, it's Aquaman jizz. He just got really excited and washes up. Atlanteans don't even have to kick a turn. Memento was a classic. I like it. Sammy Jenkins, good movie. Dunkirk, maybe my least favorite Christopher Nolan movie. I haven't seen Interstellar, so that could be my least favorite one. I don't like Matthew McConaughey screaming Murph for 2 hours. But it could be amazing. It's funny you consider Dunkirk a slow film. It's only an hour and 46 minutes. I thought it whizzed by. And was there a ticking clock the entire time? Because as soon as the clock stopped ticking, you notice it. I thought, I was like, whoa, was that a ticking clock the whole movie? That was cool. And Tom Hardy, star of that show. Holy shit, I thought Tom Hardy was cool. And I love the way that time was told, like, this happens and then this happens, but now this is happening again because this is what happened when that happened. Sounds confusing, but I do like it. I'm not a Christopher Nolan fan the way Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers is, but I do enjoy the Nolan Bat trilogy for the most part, and I enjoyed Memento quite a bit. I loved Inception, and I liked Dunkirk quite a bit. So that's my take on Nolan. People are still talking about now we're talking about the reproductive situation of Atlanteans. I think we should call out James Wan and be like, do you cover the reproduction or the reproductive as well as the intestinal, gastroenterological, or whatever you would call it, going-ons of the Atlanteans? Like, do they all go up to the surface to pee and then come right back? I don't know. We'll find out together. Have I ever seen Johnny Sacco and his flying robot? I have never even heard of that. I don't do the Sentai stuff outside of the Power Rangers. The original Mighty Morphin So would be what, Jew Ranger, and then the Spider-Man. Spider-Man Sentai is fun. Spider-Man Sentai is a lot of fun. You know, it's interesting to always throw up the discussion about like a certain filmmaker because people are talking about their favorite Nolan films. You know, some people like Dark Knight. I like Batman Begins. Some people like Interstellar. I prefer Inception. But again, I haven't seen Interstellar. So they're all valid opinions from different points of view, and they're fun to talk about. Maybe down the road we do a Nolan night. Who knows? We talk about Christopher Nolan with Jeremy. Once we have 76,000 and change. Soon we'll have 1 million and change. Then we'll just ask Christopher Nolan to appear. It's like, I've never heard of you. Well, 1 million people have. So just come on and hang out with us. I'll buy you some dinner. What do British people eat? Oh yeah, normal food like everybody else. Except it's boiled. So, folks, I am very, very much... Oh, hold on. We had a super chat from Alpha Terranima. Thank you very much, Alpha Terranima. What is the septic system of Atlantis? Is there a poo in the loo sort of deal where nobody sees... Wait, hold on. I hope no one's at work listening to this and they just hear poo in the loo. Let me redo this. Sorry. What is the septic system of Atlantis? Is there a poo in the loo sort of deal there because nobody sees you use any toilets when everyone lives underwater? I don't know. Have you guys ever seen those signs at someone's pool? We don't swim in your toilet. Don't pee in our pool. It's like, don't pee in our Atlantis. Maybe Atlanteans are like Superman. I know this sounds dumb, but Superman doesn't have to poop. And you're thinking, how do you know that? There's some comic that explains that he doesn't even need to eat, actually. He gets his energy from the sun. And he just eats because he enjoys the flavor. So maybe Atlanteans eat, but because of the way they swim, they burn off all their food waste. Because if you like change your diet up, if you eat so much and you exercise so much more, you actually burn that and you'll poop less. Weird thing to talk about, but I've experienced it firsthand. Maybe that's the case. Maybe these Atlanteans are just so big. Like, ask Michael Phelps. Does Michael Phelps poop? We can tweet him and find out, can't we? Maybe that is exactly what happens. He just burns it off before it turns to waste. I mean, you're always moving underwater. Cesario Japan, thank you very much. Potato Thought, do Atlanteans like tentacles? I don't know. Maybe some of them were spawned from tentacles. Who knows? Who knows? We can ask Jason Momoa and Amber Heard. Help us get into the press junket. I'll wear a World Class Bullshitters t-shirt, and I'll be like, so, the almost 80,000 fans of World Class Bullshitters would like to know, do Atlanteans like tentacle porn? And James Wan would go, if James Gunn directed this movie, we'd have it in there. Grendel Fan 84, thank you very much. These are questions DC never dared to answer. Could you imagine really conservative DC comics covering this type of stuff back in the 40s and 50s? It's like, oh, well, Superman's back from World War II. Let's talk about how he uses the toilet. It's like, oh, okay, well, let's see how many kids... Everybody poops the DC edition. And it's just a book that says, Batman poops, Robin poops, Catwoman poops, but Superman doesn't have to, because he blah, 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 blah. And it's like a paragraph of how his biological systems work. But Green Lantern, it's just like a list of all these things. That'd be the dumbest book in history. And I'd probably buy a copy of it just to laugh. Like, I'd want this, like, image... Batman just sitting there reading like a Suicide Squad comic taking a dump. So dumb. So dumb. I love it. Oh my god. The poop fish. Yeah, they poop fish. Huh. He doesn't talk to them. He produces them. Lost Cause 78, if I could get the clearance to make that, I would. It would just be like January. Spider-Man's pooping. Admittedly, I put Spider-Man in October since it's my birth month and he's my favorite superhero. John Woodhouse, thank you very much for your super chat. I photoshopped the Aquaman photo and put in his fart bubbles. Can I email it in? Yes, you can. Or you could tweet it to us. If you tweet it or Facebook it to us, I can show it better now. But you can email it to us at worldclassbs@mail.com. And I will check that out. I thought we were going to talk about Luke Skywalker and Denny O'Neil. Nope. Atlanteans pooping. This is like the discussion my friend has with his kid. You know, he's asking all these questions about this and that. And yeah, it's just a poop question. Well, by the way, folks, be like the cool kid, the DJD show, and hit the thumbs up button. We got about 370 people in here. Let's get 370 thumbs up. We're doing really well. I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who's sticking with us for all these months, and thank you to everybody who's just joined us recently. We've had a ton of great growth. Really proud to be having this channel, and I'm really excited to continue to move forward. God damn it, King Eric. This is what happens when you work and lurk. Yeah, this is what happens. This is my life. If my mom's like, so what'd you do today? Well, I worked on the next page. I filmed a video. We talked about how Aquaman uses the bathroom underwater. Normal Tuesday. Normal Tuesday. I feel like Kenny Powers in our chat is like that blue eagle from the Muppets. And the Great Muppet Caper? You are all weirdos! He just comes out after the Happiness Hotel song. That's our Kenny Powers friend. That's cool. I dig that show. Eastbound and Down, fantastic. Eddie Max of Andor says, I bet Doomcock knows these questions. Doomcock knows all. So, you're right. You are right, Eddie Max of Andor. You are very much right. Thank you, Kato Roan. She is very proud. She tells me that quite a bit. She's like, I'm so proud. Your comic book did great. This, that, and the other. So, Sam the Eagle's his name. Okay. There we go. So, folks, right here on screen, good morning to you, Jez Oldfield, is a very iconic series of comic book panels. John Greedwald sent in a super chat of $1. No message, but thank you very much. I appreciate the support, John. And we all do here on the channel. So, this is a very, very famous comic book panel. It comes from Green Lantern, Green Arrow, I believe. Art by Neil Adams, story by Denny O'Neil. And I'm going to read you this, and then I'm going to talk about the reason why I'm bringing this to your attention. So, in the first panel, there's a black man. He says, I've been reading about you, how you work for the Blueskins and the planet excuse me, let me redo that. I've been reading about you, how you work for the Blueskins, and how on a planet someplace you helped out the Orange Skins, and you done considerable for the Purple Skins. There's been skins you've never bothered with, the Black Skins. I want to know how come. Answer me that, Mr. Green Lantern. And then Green Lantern says, I can't. Now, we last week lost Stan Lee. We lost the greatest creator of anything in existence to this day. I mean, people say, oh, Walt Disney was a magic maker. Okay, but Walt Disney's been dead since like 1969, I believe. So Walt Disney's been dead for close to 50 years. Well, George Lucas is around. Yes, George Lucas is around. But Stan Lee was a greater creator than George Lucas, and I'll stand by that every day of the week. But there are some writers out there today who want to have these social messages, and they just aren't any good at writing. They don't know how to put in social commentary. They just are unskilled people. They got through school. I don't know how they got through school, but they're very untalented individuals. And then they work at comic book companies. And, you know, back in the day, working at a comic book company may not have been the goal for a lot of these people. It was a job, but a lot of them wanted to advance and do something else. And then you had people like Denny O'Neil, who has stuck with comic books and has written other things, but really elevated the medium. And Denny O'Neil is about to get an award. That's why I wanted to bring this to your attention. So if you don't know who Denny O'Neil is, he and Neil Adams really saved Batman in the late 60s or was it early 1970s? Was it 1971? Let's just put it early 70s as a coverall date. So Denny O'Neil is going to be honored for pursuing causes of peace and justice at the Presidential Library. Now you're thinking to yourself, Jeff, SJWs are terrible people. They're this, they're that. Yeah, the crap they do to modern comic books are garbage. But there was a bygone era where people actually could inject positive messages into stories and they didn't suck. Because the things that people are fighting for today are over and done with. Oh, we want equality for this. Okay, you have it. No, we don't. We want this. It gets to a point where it's becoming extremist in behavior. But a guy like Denny O'Neil, while these people want to hide behind him and say, oh, social justice, this and that, I don't think equality for black and white people is a bad thing. Never has been. And it's been achieved. Yeah, you always have the outliers. You can't, avoid that. It's never going to be possible, at least in the current climate, in terms of time. People have to get used to certain things, and after a while, it just becomes common. Like interracial dating. Now it's a common thing. There was a stigma 30 years ago. Believe me, I'm a product of it. But Denny O'Neil's about to get this big award, and I just wanted to call to your attention that somebody like a Denny O'Neil, who has had positive progressive change, shouldn't be lumped in with the modern SJW causes of today. He's iconic. His work stands the test of time, and I think it's positive in intention and execution thanks to his excellent writing skills as well as Neil Adams' fantastic artwork. Now, Neil Adams would also be lumped in as a progressive guy, but I wouldn't call him a progressive in a modern 2018 lens progressive. He has his beliefs. For example, I worked for Neil Adams once. He used to do the Joe Camel ads at his advertising company, but he believed so strongly against the inclusion of nicotine into the cigarettes that once he found out they were putting nicotine back in after they said they weren't, he pulled the contract and stopped doing the work, and it went to somewhere else. So Neil Adams is a man of conviction. Also, Neil Adams is a good dude. For example, you probably didn't know this, but the creators of Superman got screwed over financially. I believe they tried to sue DC in the 40s for the Superman rights that they signed over, and they lost. So basically, they were broke, and they didn't really do much. They were destitute for many years. Well, in the 1970s, as the movie loomed closer and closer, Neil Adams took it upon himself and fought for the rights of the Superman estate to give something to Siegel and Schuster, excuse me. And he did. He got them a contract. It's garbage, but it's still something of, I believe it was $20,000 every year for the rest of their life, credits on the book, and something else. So Neil Adams fought for what he believed in. So this comic panel just goes to show you that every time one of these people out there want to fight for putting social messages in comic books, sometimes messages are bad. And a lot of the stuff today comes from people who just aren't talented enough. And I mean it in the strongest of ways. They're just not good enough at what they do. Comic books are a weird medium. They should be treated like gold when you work on them, even though you don't get paid like you would for a movie. You know, somebody like an Akiva Goldsman can work on Batman and Robin, a shit stinker, but then get work for 30 years. You do a couple bad comic books and you're done in the industry. Well, not today. If you have the right set of beliefs, you're good forever. Until the industry crashes next year in July, which is what I've been told from the future. But I just wanted to call attention to this thing. I really, really enjoy Denny O'Neil's work, especially on Batman, especially on some of the more iconic stuff he's worked on. And here's a final quote that I'm going to read to you guys. Our first job has always been to deliver what the customer is buying, O'Neill said. You cheat them, and you pretty much guarantee that they won't read your next relevant issue. So O'Neill gets it. For those thinking I've gone off the reservation praising somebody who talks about positive change, no. Denny O'Neil gets it. Denny O'Neil wouldn't be doing all these things with Iceman and all these things with these beloved characters just to rile people up and get talked about on Tumblr and Twitter and all this stuff. Denny O'Neil knows that, much like Stan Lee said, every issue is someone's first issue, and whatever you write could be someone's last issue. So it's nice to know that a man who has dedicated his life to the craft of writing comic books, a man who has fought for what he believed in through the pages, is going to get some recognition and a nice award. So let's see if a lot of people have stuck with us through that one. Yeah, okay, cool. I know some of the topics people just go, oh, and they click away. But I'm glad you guys stuck with that one. That was a small little snippet, but just again, Good Morning Pop Culture, we cover everything. And I've been thinking about this for the last day and how this sticks with you, but in a positive way. The stuff from Marvel and DC and these other independents, forgettable. And it's not because this is a DC comic. It's because it was trend-setting, or it was breaking ground, and the ground's been broken, and now it's commonplace. You know, I believe Neil Adams is the reason why there's Jon Stewart and Denny O'Neil as well, the Black Green Lantern. Nowadays, Black Green Lantern is what most people know because of the cartoon. And I really don't think Bruce Timm and Paul Dini and the other people, Eric Radomski, everyone involved with the Justice League cartoon, really deserve credit for, oh, you introduced a black hero to this. No, you just picked a Green Lantern that existed. We're, beyond that. Beyond that. So, let's see. We had some super chats roll in. First off from Ref Dealine. In lieu of the poo, I see the new shoe. Ah! Oh my god. This is my legacy, folks. This is my online digital legacy. Poop jokes and comic books. Could be worse. It could be Let's Plays and food reviews. Dimos Z, thank you very much. Star Wars 9, enter the Skywalker verse. Much? I don't like that trend of Spider-Verse. I mean, I'm playing the Spider-Man game. I'm really into it. It's paying homage to the original comics. There's even a couple Sam Raimi references, which basically are the most true adaptations of the character. But this Spider-Verse shit, like Into the Spider-Verse, I hate to say it, but I hope it flops hard. I hope no one goes to see it this holiday season. I hope it's a fucking zero-sum movie. It's gone. I don't like the idea of multiple universes outside of DC. I dig it for DC because it's been their thing, but Spider-Gwen and this and that and alternate dimensions, it gets so stupid. Like Spider-Man 2099 wasn't an alternate dimension. It was just the future of Marvel, in the year 2099. These things, again, it comes back to these writers that just don't get it. They get on their, they try to connect and add their own flourish and this and that. And sometimes the best people are the ones who just come in, continue the story, and then move on. Sometimes those people really are the unsung heroes of the medium. But with Star Wars, there's just too many. It's a Skywalkerception. There's old Luke, young Luke, fat Luke, skinny Luke, toilet Luke, all these other Lukes out there. A Luke. Just so many Lukes. Daimos Z, I'm not into that at all. Cesario Japan. Title for today's show. Good morning, pop culture. Do Atlanteans poop? I might actually put that on the Podbean edition. That's a possibility. Who knows? Who knows? Our friend GrendelFan84 says, writers back then lived full lives, hearing many different voices. Most writers today have no life and only hear the same voice. That's an interesting point to make there, GrendelFan84. Yeah, I didn't read the whole Denny O'Neil article, but it talks about he lived in New York during a really bad time. He saw things. He wrote about them. Let's be honest. If I was trying to write a socially conscious comic book, what life experiences would I have? I live in a shit neighborhood, yeah, but my point of view is different from those out there. Sometimes the voice is, like Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil, to create a black character isn't, the sacrilegious thing. People of any color can create characters of any color. Todd McFarlane made Spawn black, and that wasn't an issue in 1992. It's not an issue today. Maybe people don't like the casting of Jamie Foxx, nor do I. But again, his skin color is not an issue. Plus, he's burnt as shit. You rarely see his skin, so whatever. I digress. But that's why Stealing Solo stars the guys from the channel. I write about what I know. I'm able to give them really good voices. I put in a joke yesterday. I was like, this is like in Mallrats. Didn't even plan it. Just certain things happen in the creative process. But there's your little hint. But the next one is very, very different. Very different. And it doesn't feature us at all. John Woodhouse, thank you very much again. I sent in the Aquaman fart on Twitter and email. Okay, well, let's look at the Aqua fart together. That's all I can say. Okay, so, there we go. So, here we have it, folks, right here, the Aqua fart. Maybe I put this in the title of the video. I don't know, but I'll tell you this, I will save it. So, thank you to our friend John for making our Aqua fart title image. Momoa knows he let one slip. We've all been there before. Ever thought about making my own superhero comics? I have. I actually, there's a page that exists. I've worked on stuff. My friend has some superhero stuff they've done, but it's, sometimes these characters become derivative of other things. This guy in college I knew. I don't want to create a hero that's too derivative. I want to create characters that, honestly, I want to create characters that are once in a story and then we move on to another one. If I created a superhero and it took off and it was, oh man, we want to read the adventures of so-and-so for 40 years and it was making great money and I could do this on top of it and have the life I want, I would do it. I would commit to it. It's really not a fear of commitment for my own superhero. It's just, there are other hero characters out there that I identify with that have the things that I would want to add to put my voice into the character. A lot of that exists in Spider-Man or Batman, we have the self-doubt in Spider-Man, or we have the appeal for justice. If I was going to do my own superhero, it would be comedy-based, or it would be a very dark, ethereal, otherworldly type of superhero thing. Do Atlanteans get crabs as in the humankind? I don't know. Are there dirty toilet seats in Atlantis? Find out. There we go. Aquaman 2, The Attack of Fletchings. Jesus. Amber and Karen are the best DCEU girls. Who's Karen? Is she on one of the TV shows? Karen. Who was Karen? Let me know, because I agree about Amber Heard. I mean, I'm not afraid to say how much I like her. Thunder Robots, I can't do that because I'm not actually the one that kidnaps our buddy Harrison. No, that's not me. In the story, I kind of leave for a little bit, and it's Kendo and Nick that do it. Yeah, Karen Page was in Daredevil. Oh, Karen, the Japanese girl. Oh. Katana? Just call her Katana, right? Not Daikatana, because that's a terrible game from John Romero. But talk about failure to deliver. I love those good stories where it's like the PlayStation 3 for a while, you know? Oh, PlayStation 2 is the biggest selling system of all time. Here comes PlayStation 3. We can charge you $500. We can have this really terrible cell technology structure. And then it kind of flops. And it takes a while to get better. So, Karen Gillan's and Guardians. Plankton's wife. Karen Fukuhara. Okay. That's Rose Tico. No, that ain't Rose Tico. That is not Rose Tico. We don't get down with the Tico. That's an EVS exclusive. I don't want to steal his thunder. Great dude. Why cut his legs out from underneath him? So, how many people here saw Hellboy? It's, this has been a very comic-centric week here on the channel, but all the big comic book news is coming out now to get you ready for next summer. It's, it's Christmas time. It gives you something to look forward to. Your favorite uncle at Christmas is drinking eggnog saying, "Hey, Sonny, did you see the trailer for Aquaman? It looked cool." And you're like, "Yeah, Uncle Carl, I saw the movie already." "Oh, it's already out? Shit, gotta go check it out." Not an actual discussion from Christmas. Just putting that out there. But this image of Hellboy came out, and it made me think about the recasting. And at first I was like, oh, no recastings. And then I saw this and I realized I don't really love Hellboy as much as I thought I did. So this could be cool. It looks fine. David Harbour has that gruff demeanor. But it all boils down to, am I a Hellboy fan? And the answer, oh shit, I turned on my PlayStation. And the answer is no. I'm not really a Hellboy fan. What I am is a fan of the comic book medium. And I try to check these movies out, if they're not based on complete garbage, to support the creators, to support the fact that people want to see more of these movies. Sorry about that. So I'm trying to turn off this PlayStation not to kill the Wi-Fi in the house, and the local news came on. So if you're like, what's happening on Good Morning Pop Culture? A lot's currently happening, excuse me. No, Ron Perlman did not die. Ron Perlman has stated how he has no interest in playing another superhero, which to me is good. I liked Ron Perlman's Hellboy quite a bit. Some people say it's the best. Then again, it's like the only person to play it. Kind of like I won't say like a Hugh Jackman Wolverine, because Hugh Jackman became famous because of the role of Wolverine. And almost 20 years later, no one's tired of him. I didn't like Hellboy and the Golden Army, so I don't necessarily care about more Hellboy. John Cena's Hellboy. Jesus, do you want me to just go into a coffee coma? Brandon Moist is here, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, the Moist has arrived. He says this in a super chat. Is this the Star Wars all-day live stream this week? Or is it all week? Or is it this week? I can't speak. I'm sorry. Coffee coma's incoming. Yes, Brandon Moist. It is this Saturday, December the 1st, 2018, here on the channel, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Most of the movies have been spoken for, but I can still get you on a stream because you are the only World Class Bullshitters fan to have an episode named in your honor. Ron Perlman is a ridiculous SJW. Check out his Twitter. I will prefer not to check out his Twitter because I don't really like Ron Perlman that much, but I don't want to dislike him either. Well, that's not really a fair statement to make publicly or even privately. I don't allow a person's politics to color my opinion of them. It's how they present themselves with that. Like, Dion and I don't really agree on a lot of stuff, but we're best friends. To me, that's like a sign of, one, a good friendship, and two decent people that know how to interact. It's not very hard to have differing opinions and still be social, cordial, or, your best friend in the world, ever. Those things aren't out of reach. I just really don't care enough about Ron Perlman, to be perfectly honest, to read his politics or to read his social media. Ron Perlman's an actor who is fine. If I saw him in public, I'd be like, nod, and that's it. Wouldn't say hi, wouldn't ask for an autograph or a picture or any of that shit. Ron Perlman is not The Rock. Then again, no one else is. But if I saw Hugh Jackman in public, I'd be like, oh my god, it's Wolverine, and, kind of fanboy out. And I'm also a lot taller than these people. Maybe I'm about the same height as Ron Perlman, so it'd be weird. Like, there's this giant guy that got really excited to meet me today. He almost gave me a hug. It was cool, though. He wasn't gross. So, we got people that are going on about Deadpool. I think it's time to start talking about this Deadpool controversy. It's interesting, to say the least, though. So, Amy, for those out there that are wondering about this Deadpool thing, let me pull up the story, and we'll talk about it. Because I don't like to leave the fans hanging. Just give me a moment to get to the tab. Where is the tab? That's not the tab. Live radio, folks. Live radio. Where the hell did it go? I just had it open. Did I click away? Nope, that's not it. Give me a moment. Damn it. I hate when I do this. On air, got a great show going, everything's perfect, and then nothing. Here we go. So a guy tweeted the Once Upon a Deadpool plot a year ago. And now this is just an interesting story. And this is one of those stories where I need fan interaction. I need you guys to tell me what you think during it. The Rookie Critic. Thank you very much. Jeff. Morning, dude. Good morning, the Rookie Critic. Are you another Jeff as well? So, Jeffy. Morning to you too, my friend. By the way, folks, check out the Rookie Critic, Jeff the Iron Wolf, and Black Angus reviews. They are doing a podcast, I think it was, Monday nights now on YouTube. It's something film something. I saw it. So if you guys want some more content, because we don't do Monday night streams, I'm busy making videos and stuff like that. So if you guys need something every night of the week, Mondays, check these guys out. Quality stuff. So, this is what the Deadpool news is. Did a fan tweet out the idea for Once Upon a Deadpool's now famed apparent Princess Bride homage framing sequence at Ryan Reynolds almost a year ago, before Deadpool 2 was even in theaters? It appears that way. Self-described Ryan Reynolds fan M.V. Bromley tweeted the idea for a PG-13 cut of Deadpool at the star of Ryan Reynolds on December 7, 2017, saying if such a cut came to pass, it should be framed with an homage to the framing device from the classic 80s film The Princess Bride, including an adult Fred Savage. And here's the 2017 tweet. If Marvel forces you to make a PG-13 Deadpool, just copy the framing device from The Princess Bride and have Deadpool censoring it for Fred Savage as a bedtime story. A kidnapped adult Fred Savage. There, I fixed it. And I got 749 likes. So, did Ryan Reynolds get the idea for Once Upon a Deadpool's framing sequence from M.V. Bramley? It appears at least possible, though the PG-13 cut has not been yet released, so the actual content of the new sequence isn't fully known. It could be a simple case of parallel thought, not the first or last time such a thing has happened in the comic book or film industry. For Bramley's part, he has stated on Twitter that he hopes the coincidence is not a case of plagiarism, conceding that he is unaware of the timeline of Ryan Reynolds' idea for the new sequence. Earlier this year, Deadpool 2 screenwriter Paul Wernick gave Reynolds credit for the idea, saying the actor presented it after theatrical release of Deadpool 2. We definitely shot new stuff, and recently too, Wernick explained. After Deadpool 2 came out, we were all sitting around. We came to it less about the idea of let's make a PG-13 Deadpool, and more like let's talk a little about Deadpool. We were kicking around some ideas, and I think Ryan Reynolds, who had the great framing device, we all got excited and went to the studio and said, yeah, let's do it, fire up the cameras. Reynolds himself previously stated that the idea, I said yes on two conditions. First, a portion of the proceeds had to go to charity. Second, I wanted to kidnap Fred Savage. The second condition took some explaining. Of course, this being Ryan Reynolds and a Deadpool film, one shouldn't also totally dismiss the idea of this all being a coordinated ploy. So far, neither Reynolds nor anyone at 20th Century Fox seems to have commented on the similarities between Bramley's pitch and what may actually wind up in the film. Once Upon a Deadpool is due out in December. So that is the Deadpool comparison. It came out a couple days ago. I hadn't heard about it until now. I'm not really... I like Deadpool enough. You guys have heard me talk about Deadpool a lot here on the channel. But I will say this. Don't go see this fucking movie. This is for Disney's validation to make Deadpool PG-13 and no more R-rated films. People would like to say, oh, Jeff, you're just reacting too heavily to this and that. No, I'm not. We know how Disney operates. They own 20th Century Fox now. Let's say it goes official in January. Okay? Fine. But they just recently shot this shit. We've known about this Disney purchase of Fox for months and months. Look at Deadpool. That is the other movie I was trying to talk or figure out yesterday when I was talking about the comic book store and how people didn't go in for Stan Lee's death to buy Stan Lee stuff. It was Deadpool and Guardians of the Galaxy 2. People went in and bought, or Guardians of the Galaxy, people went in and bought all kinds of shit about those characters after the movies came out because they got invested. Deadpool is a merchandising juggernaut. Deadpool's on everything. Underwear, socks, t-shirts, toys. Maybe sex toys. Who knows? But Deadpool's got it. This is firmly to make sure that Disney can get away with this crap. And if people say, no thanks, I'm not going to buy your Wonder Years garbage, aka Princess Bride, people just, Disney will wake up and get the message. But if Once Upon a Deadpool makes a ton of money, well, then be prepared to never see R-rated Deadpool again. Much like that New Mutants flick was going to be R-rated, now it's PG-13, and all these other things. People think, oh, that's crazy. No, that's not how this works. It is how this works. Expect that mutant movie to never come out in theaters. Much like X-Men Phoenix. Expect that to either get neutered again or never to come out. They say, oh, we're adding reshoots to make it better. The movie's not going to happen. They want to get all this shit under one roof, and they want to push forward with a new MCU. They're losing Downey Jr., they're losing Evans, they're losing Hemsworth, they're losing all the big stars. So what are they going to do? They're going to get other big characters. They're going to come in, and they're going to put out movies with those characters, and Deadpool's going to come to Marvel. Everyone's going to be excited, but it's going to be PG-13. It's not going to be that violent. I'm not saying I need to see Deadpool cutting people apart, but that's part of the character. The dick jokes, all that stuff, the cocaine jokes. You're not going to see that. His relationship with Blind Al is going to be a lot different. Disney's not going to all of a sudden change their record and go, we're going to allow this for the fans. No, fuck that. They're going to say, Deadpool's now a PG-13 character. Due to previous market research, aka Once Upon a Deadpool, we now know that there is a market for a PG-13 Deadpool film, and this is what we will do moving forward. It's really obvious. It's blatantly obvious. If you can't see it, get your eyes checked or get your head out of your ass. This is the future of Deadpool. So it may be funny. There are great PG-13 comedies. Hell, some of the best comedies are rated PG-13. It's not about that. It's the principle of the matter. We're getting this good Deadpool movie. This great Deadpool movie. The first one's great. The second one's pretty good. And now we're going to get into the safe, samey bullshit. For anyone out there that complains about the MCU formula being trite and boring, be prepared to have Deadpool fall into that formula. Even if he's self-aware and makes all these great jokes, like I said, it's all about the principle of the matter. So, it looks like some people are very, very with it. Okay, cool. With me, at least, and that's cool. Sometimes I take a strong stance on stuff. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Not the fact that I take a strong stance, but sometimes they just really want to get in because they want more Deadpool. They want more this. They want more that. Cool, guys. More power to you. But remember, we saw this coming. For everyone out there that says, no, it's not going to happen, once they never see another R-rated Deadpool flick, never complain about it online or privately because you guys allowed for it to happen. And if I'm wrong, I'll be the first one here to admit it. But I don't think I am in this case. I will double down on this one with a Dukes Brothers bet for any one listener that wants to take me up on it. Just putting that out there. So, there's an update. Okay, so our friend the DJD show is about to give us an update on the Ryan Reynolds situation. Okay, well, let's check it out. As soon as I get that. Like I said, I really don't assume Ryan Reynolds stole it until I read this story. My takeaway from this wasn't, oh man, Ryan Reynolds is a thief or a plagiarizer. No, not at all. I didn't really take that away. I just thought it was interesting that this is coming to light. You know, an interesting story. Interesting has multiple connotations. I take it as it's just actually interesting to me. I find it compelling what could be. So while we're waiting for the DJD show's message over on Twitter, let's see what people are saying more about PG-13 Deadpool. If I'm right, Amy, and I don't know if the cost to come to Australia is worth the Dukes Brothers bet, but you can mail it to me. I'll send it to the P.O. Box. Well, when it comes to the Homecoming and Spider-Man 4 stuff, I don't think you can actually steal, like, a movie script becomes the property of the studio. So to me, that's like a different argument to be had. It is, to be fair though, the Raimi movie did recycle the organic web shooters from the James Cameron movie. So that James Cameron script, some of its DNA is still in Spider-Man movies to this day. It's like the people can't get over certain aspects. What's another franchise where they'll take old ideas and, like, Star Wars? The Journal of the Wills was like the original title of the movie, and now it's this. And the Kyber Crystal was something else originally, and now it's what powers the lightsaber, the Death Star, and this and that. So they're just a lot of that is recycling old ideas. Okay, so let's see the DJD. Where'd it go, man? I still don't have a DJD show. I got the thing from our friend, the Rookie Critic, but that's about it. Let's see. The Rookie Corner, episode 15, featuring Proper Jeremy. Ooh, Proper Jeremy. I love the Jeremies, the army of Jeremies. Yes, they remade RoboCop in, what was that, 2013? It was a movie. It was nowhere near as good as the original. Plus, RoboCop 2 is okay, but RoboCop 3 sucks. And then those TV shows suck. I can't really get behind RoboCop. Sorry. Dead or Alive, You're Coming With Me. There we go. So, there it is. So, let's see. Once Upon a Deadpool story dispute finally resolved. Okay, so 2 days later it got resolved. And that's an article about Red Dead Redemption 2. So, let me read this to you. Earlier this week, a fan, blah, blah, blah. The new re-edit will hit theaters in December, and now you can get hyped again because apparently the whole thing was just a coincidence. A Twitter post from the user now claims that they have talked with Ryan Reynolds, and apparently it wasn't as nefarious of a plan from Ryan Reynolds and co. as it appeared to some. Check out the post. So this MV Bramley says, I had a brief talk with Ryan Reynolds. I believe he was as confused as I was. It seems like this may have all just been a big, insane coincidence, and I'm happy to leave it at that. I'm looking forward to seeing the movie in December. #Deadpool. The Deadpool franchise has become one of the most beloved superhero franchises today simply because it's willing to go in weirder places than others, all while making fun of the very genre that it's in. Given the huge fan base, it's certainly good to hear that this whole thing was a coincidence and not just a can you ever forgive me type of situation. Okay, so it was all just a big coincidence. Cool. I don't love Ryan Reynolds like some people do. He's not infallible, but I've enjoyed him for many, many years. My favorite Ryan Reynolds moment is marijuana, but why? From Harold and Kumar. So it's not really the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool isn't my introduction to him. I think he was on Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. I'm pretty sure I watched that when I was in grade school. So I've been on the Ryan Reynolds train for a while. I mean, I haven't been riding it the whole time, but he's cool enough in my book. So, let's see, where else are we at? Where are we at? Uncanny Coincidence. So there we go. Yeah, there we are. That's the end of the story. So, what else are we going to cover on Good Morning Pop Culture in the final moments of the show? We talked about Aquaman. We talked about Hellboy for a moment because that's all that matters to me. Talked about Denny O'Neil Adams. Man, don't care about the Spider-Man release date. Don't care about any of this stuff. Yay! July 10th and October 2nd of 2020, there's 2 Marvel films from Sony to be released. I guess one's a Venom sequel. So that'll be seen by a lot of people, but not me. Brandon Moyes says, a watered-down Deadpool would make me dry. A watered-down Deadpool would make the moist dry up. Well, be prepared to dry up, my friend. Somebody's putting some sand right in there on that wet spot, and it's gone. And now it's a sandy, gross, crusty mess. I can't go back to the Atlantean biology. I'm sorry. I can't. I can't discuss that anymore. Poolantians, or whatever we're going to call them. It's so gross. Dr. Coffinail says Venom wasn't actually that bad. I'm sure it wasn't that bad. I just haven't had a chance to go see it. I have not seen Bone Tomahawk. I can't even think of a way I would actually be okay with a watered down Deadpool. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Deadpool Pikachu doesn't work. You know, I tried the day that trailer dropped. I downloaded the trailer and I tried to get Deadpool clips to do that, and then I realized I can't edit like Ivan Ortega. So I had a whole Detective Pikachu Deadpool thing worked out, and I got the unfinished file on my computer. It just didn't work. That's all I can say. It didn't work. Oh, it was embarrassing. Better to have no Deadpool than a watered down Deadpool. I agree. I agree with that. I don't really want to watch my heroes be neutered and then thrown away. Deadpool came out of nowhere. It had a lot of heart. It had a lot of fun. It had some shocking moments. I was impressed. 2, it did slip a bit for me. I bought it on Blu-ray, I guess because I own the first one, so I need to have both of them. But overall, I just found Deadpool 2 to be a lesser film. Much like, I can't say it's as bad as Iron Man 2 as a drop-off. What's the sequel? See, Spider-Man got better. Captain America got better. Thor got way worse, in my opinion. Oh, what is a good comparison? Beverly Hills Cop. There we go. 1's amazing. 2's still good. Just not as amazing as the first one. Yes, I did know that After Halloween 2 was supposed to be an anthology. I have Halloween 3 on Blu-ray, and I think it's a great movie. That's a controversial opinion I have. Halloween 3, third favorite Halloween film. I like it. I like the creepy atmosphere, love the music. I picked up an old heavy metal magazine that had a review of it in it, and it really wasn't really a negative review of the film. It was just kind of a discussion about it existing and all this. See, I find it interesting to go back and find out how people talked about a movie when it was new, as opposed to just talking about it exclusively through today's lens. It's something I'd like to do more of in the future. I disagree that Thor has yet to make a good one. I thought Thor 1 had some interesting elements, especially about him becoming human and learning humility and all that stuff. That is why I will always like the first Thor movie. But I can understand why people would hate it. It is a lot thinner in plot, but let's look at what else came out in Phase 1. Iron Man 1 and 2. Iron Man 1's clearly a star next to the Avengers. Hulk, okay. Iron Man 2, okay. I mean, even when I'm calling them okay, I'm only calling them okay compared to other Marvel films. They're still better than a lot of movies that came out during the time. Their contemporary competition wasn't up to the par of these MCU films. I can't think of something else in 2011 that I enjoyed as much as Thor or Captain America. And nothing in 2012 topped Avengers. Skyfall was great. Dark Knight Rises was good. Avengers amazing. Evangelion will be on Netflix, I guess, in December. I don't have an excuse not to watch it. Maybe I can do some anime watching. I really want to get the Dragon Ball Z Blu-ray set and watch those, but I don't have like 100 hours to watch that show. Have I heard that Disney won't allow decapitation by lightsaber? No, that is news to me. Decapitation by lightsaber is like the best way to be decapitated, if you have to be. How many decapitations were there in the original Star Wars movies? And I'm including the prequels as well. Well, there was one in Empire Strikes Back. There were none in Return of the Jedi. There was Jango Fett's in Episode 2, Dooku's in Episode 3, Yoda cut off some clone troopers' heads, I believe. Yeah, as long as you don't explicitly show it, that's fine. It's bizarre how Disney allows so much violence in some things, no sexuality at all, and then certain cussing. Like, none of the Marvel shows on Netflix will drop the F-bomb, but they'll say almost any other word, including racial slurs. They'll pull that card, but for some reason they can't say fuck. So, there are weird edicts with all of these Disney acquired properties. I won't call them Disney properties because Disney didn't make it. You bought it. It's like a homemade cake versus a store-bought cake. Maybe you did go to a good bakery, but you didn't make that cake. You don't get the pride when somebody says, oh, this is a delicious cake. You don't get to say thank you. You get to say, I bought it at so-and-so's bakery, Bimoni Bakery or whatever, Bomini. I didn't make this cake. Disney didn't make these properties. So, Darth Maul decapitated the seventh sister in Rebels, but it was off screen. Ooh, that'd be cool. You will not like Evangelion. I just wish for you to see it so you can compare it to Star Wars and its creator. Oh, okay. I think Dustin tried to show it to me once, but he's one of those people, if he shows me something, I try not to watch it because I know it's going to suck. I don't think those were the heads of the Ewok or the Stormtroopers. They were just their helmets, because they also had the AT-ST pilot helmets, and they were empty. So I'm assuming they were all empty the way they moved. Yeah, Alpha Mar, it's weird, the Disney rules. I don't get it. There hasn't even been a hand cut off since Disney ruined Star Wars. You know, if you would have listened to me talk last year, I was like, they better fucking cut Rey's arm off. They better do this. They better do that. No, just a scratch. Just a scratch. I don't advocate for violence against women. All I'm advocating for is that in the hero's journey, if you want me to respect your hero, they come up against the same adversity, if not greater adversity, than the previous generation. Star Wars, the characters don't achieve anything, therefore they don't get my emotions, if that makes sense. Fallout 76 is facing a class action lawsuit due to no refunds. Ooh! Now that's going to be a fun story to watch. If I hear some more, maybe I'll cover it on a Good Morning Pop Culture. You guys got to remember, this is all news to me. But if you want to help me out, besides hitting the thumbs up and subscribing and, doing what you guys currently do, tweet me news stories that you want me to cover. I'm all about that. That helps me, that helps cut out a lot of the, hey, Jeff, or me looking for videos to make. It could really help me out big time. So if you guys see stories like that, please shoot them my way. Because I don't know how to find those on Twitter. I'm not a Twitter-savvy gentleman. The Force is a blue-haired land whale. Let's see. Everything in Rebels was off-screen. Disney are in the business of hooking children, not entertaining existing fans. Well, if you spend your money on a property, you have every right to complain about it and criticize it. So that is what I say. I bought Red Dead Redemption. I have my critiques of it, or my critique of it, and my complaints, and they're valid, just as anybody else that owns the game, or anybody that sees a movie or reads a comic or stuff like that. So Disney really needs to watch itself. Some people would say, oh, Star Wars fans are just, moving on to something else until the next one comes out. I don't think they're coming back. We're just going to keep watching them right off. Like, we sold the Star Wars Celebration tickets. Okay, cool. But we didn't sell that many movie tickets. Your core fan base, and, to a degree is still there. I wouldn't even call your core fan base the people that go to Star Wars Celebration. I would call the people that go to Star Wars Celebration, one, podcasters and YouTubers like Jeremy, Ethan, and myself, or they are people who, I hate to say it, a lot of people that go to these conventions are vain. They want the attention. They want to dress up. They want to show, oh, I was on IGN. I was in the cosplayer section. Okay. Do you want me to praise you for that? Because you dressed up like Anakin Skywalker? Good for you. I see a lot of the people at the convention for that. And if you're a family going to have fun and take your kids, see, that's the type of shit I would never poke fun at. You know, a dad and his son who liked The Last Jedi. I mean, I question the dad, but, you know, the kid's a kid. I'm not going to make fun of a kid. Alphamar, no, we were at 75 for a long time. We just hit 76,000 3 or 4 days ago, so no, we're doing fine. I agree. You should have the right to return the game. I know Sony's got that stupid digital policy. If you played so much of it, you can't return it. I guess that's a little more fair. Yes, Cesare Japan. We were talking about that yesterday with the SJWs don't buy comics, and they're all like good classic comics. Nothing that they promote. I just think a lot of the people that work in the field don't get what's actually happening. You know, where the complaints are, where the criticisms are. It's funny. Nobody's going to buy those books. And you want to talk about comic books that will never retain value? Modern stuff. Marvel, DC, independent. You see very few New 52 titles that hold value because of an iconic cover that was turned into a t-shirt and a poster or something like that. But you'll never get... you'll never have another Walking Dead #1. You're never going to have another... What's a Spider-Man book that Obama issue of Spider-Man was spiked in value for a while. Funny story. There were 2 covers to the Obama issue of Spider-Man. There was one with Obama, obviously, which didn't hide demand. And then there's another cover drawn by my favorite artist, John Romita Sr., and it's called, like, Ladies' Night Out Edition. It's Peter with 2 women. That's the cover I wanted, and that's the cover I have. To me, Spider-Man isn't about political covers. It's about continuing the greatest story that could ever be told. And that's at a time where it was still great. Yes, game companies don't make games as good as they used to. But Nintendo, what are we, 10 days from Super Smash Bros.? I'm not afraid to throw my money at Super Smash Bros. Because I know it's Nintendo. And they have a different set of beliefs. Now, Nintendo, it's not a whole Japanese belief because Konami sucks ass. But Nintendo, for the most part, doesn't. And their new Zelda game that could be coming out soon looks promising. If it's the remake of Skyward Sword, I'm not going to get it. But if it's a remake of Twilight Princess, well, they have my money locked up. That's all I can say. Well, Super Smash Bros. Candidates, the stuff that Sony's doing, they've lost your money, and you know what? They deserve to. If they're doing stupid crap like that. I was given a PlayStation 4, and I enjoy it. I don't really... Censoring of Japanese games, I don't think they should censor the Japanese games at all. I wasn't going to buy said Japanese games, but you shouldn't, you know, ruin the artistic integrity of the original product. Let's see. Dear God, they need to stop ruining everything by making it a battle royale that appeals to 12-year-olds. Well, the 12-year-olds are going to get their parents to buy it, I guess. But when I went to a Smash Brothers party, it was mostly like early 20-somethings. I had the original game. I had Melee. I had this. I had that. Yeah. I was there too. I'm 30, and I'm really into that. I haven't bought a Nintendo console in a long time. Is buying a Nintendo console worth it? I like the Switch. I bought it to do a channel review. It didn't really work. But I'm glad I own it. It's fun. Yeah, it's worth your time and money. Jeff, when you become famous, I want you in a Smash Brothers game. Okay, sure. I'll fight like Ganondorf. That's my style. Nintendo has more adult content than PlayStation. I don't know. For some reason, they seem to have gotten over that whole GameCube stigma era. Well, no, they got over that in after the Nintendo 64. Because GameCube had some pretty heavy games. As well as Resident Evil and stuff like that. Cesare Japan, thank you very much for Super Chat. Battlefield 5 sails down and totally rewrote Operation Gunnerside, destroy Nazi nuclear ambitions, for a mom-daughter mission, among other things. I like it. a lot that the sales are down. You know, I mean, I know it's cool to say and it's fun and we all laugh, but get woke, go broke. Your sales are down. People will buy your shit. What do you not understand how like market research works? If a big chunk of your audience are dudes that want run and gun action in first person and historical World War II shooting Nazis and stupid stuff like that, put it in your game. I don't care. If I had to perform the same show every day and I made $1 million every day from literally saying the same thing and I didn't change a single thing except the inflection slightly, I'd do it. My audience wants it. I benefit from it. That's how business works. That's how entertainment works. You know, we'll all go see all the Avengers go out and save the day 10 times over. Marvel knows what's up. But when they switch it with the impending Captain Marvel and all this other stuff, then people just kind of leave. That's all I can say. Be a shill, no bill. I like that one too. What's the best thing about this Spider-Man game? Ooh, my God. I'll tell you this. I am going to do a live stream of it soonish. The Manhattan map is great, or the New York map is great. I love the web swinging. I love the references to other characters that aren't in the game. J. Jonah Jameson's podcast is incredible. There are all types of things that, make the world... It's a rich world, and my favorite thing of all, I don't have to play in that stupid new white spider costume. If I had to play it, I'd feel differently about the game. Classic suit all day, every day. Different world. See, like Bond, you don't really change Bond. You can change the world because it's supposed to be modern times, but you put him in and you try to, you make him fit, and that's where the drama comes from. That's why you don't change who he is. Same thing with Spider-Man. You don't change who he is. He's a broke guy, early 20s. He hasn't really been established, doesn't have a family. Well, no, for him to be married and have a wife is different than having a family per se. Like, I'm fine with Mary Jane being at odds with his spider identity and all that stuff. But to answer your question, they got the spirit of the character correct. I'm enjoying the hell out of the gameplay mechanics. The fighting's fun. You advance your character. They're able to take the tech of Spider-Man, but not make it the tech of Iron Man. My complaints about Spider-Man Homecoming are the fact that he has an AI suit that talks to him and he doesn't do any of that. Well, in this game, he builds the technology himself. I don't expect Spider-Man to just have a cloth suit because he's stupid. He can have different technology and this and that and the other, but like he fixes his suit at Dr. Otto Octavius's laboratory because he can't afford to do all this stuff. He has to do all of these things. And he finds a way, but he does it himself. He's a self-reliant man, like they say in the first movie. You want to make it under your own steam. I respect that. I like that about the game. I have a lot of positive things to say. Is it perfect? No, but it's the best Spider-Man game I think I've ever played. I have a soft spot for the original Spider-Man for PS1, which I need to get a new copy of, just for that theme song alone. But this game has a great theme song, beautiful graphics, fun gameplay. It's not overly repetitive. Like, I've already done all of the side quests to pick up the backpacks and the landmarks, but that was fun. You got to go take photos of Spider-Man and stuff like that. And he does it with his lenses. I'd believe that with today's technology, an adult Peter Parker could figure out those things. I don't necessarily have that much to complain about. I haven't played the DLC. I didn't see the censored Black Cat boobies. I'm sure I'll be angry when I get to that. But for now, I'm happy. Have I touched Maximum Carnage? Oh, I played that back in the day, man. Maximum Carnage was cool. The theme song's great by Green Jelly. I have the comic, the trade paperback, as well as all the single issues for Maximum Carnage. It's a good enough storyline. It's not, I wouldn't put it top 10, maybe top 30 or 50 Spider-Man stories I've ever read. But it's a fair assessment. But yes, I've played the game. And I had a lot of fun. There we go. There's my criticism. Mary Jane. Don't like her. God. We're talking. We're not... Don't cuck out Spider-Man. I do like his secret identity being known only to him. And maybe Daredevil. That's about it. I don't even like Mary Jane knowing. I wouldn't have put Mary Jane in this game. I feel like they're trying to flesh out the story and change up the gameplay, which is nice. But Mary Jane, go work on Secret Hospital. Go smoke your cigarettes and do your other shit. Go model. Be that Mary Jane. I don't need investigative reporter. I don't need a Carly Cooper ripoff. Keep the Dan Slott era of Spider-Man out of this video game. And there's only a few things that they put in, like the Daily Feast mission and Martin Lee and all that stuff. I'm okay with that, because I thought Mr. Negative was cool in the comics, and he's not overkill. There's also other iconic Spider-Man villains, and the story seems pretty big. It says I'm at like 22%. And I am playing on the hardest difficulty as well, so it's challenging. If I played it on easy, I'd hate this game, because it's just button mash. But you gotta reverse, you gotta do this, you gotta do all kinds of stuff. Well, Gwen Stacy is interesting, depending on what interpretation of Gwen Stacy you want. For me, I want the Gwen Stacy who loves Peter but hates Spider-Man because she thinks he's responsible for the death of her father, but in reality, Captain Stacy knew all along and really respected Spider-Man. I like that dynamic. That's a Stan Lee dynamic if I've ever heard of one. Mary Jane was always just the flighty friend, and then when Gwen died, she kind of closes the door and, steps up her game with Spider-Man. These are all things I've learned from, reading the books, and I'm very happy with what we've been given for the most part in terms of video games, with the exception of The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is a garbage game, which I do have for PS4, and deserves to be melted along with my copy of The Last Jedi. I don't know. Spider-Man's had the best treatment next to... Would you say he's had the best treatment next to Batman? Let's be honest. Well, hold on. Let's think of the Batman games I've owned. I love the Arkham trilogy. High scores. Almost 10 out of 10 for the whole trilogy. Batman, I guess, based on percentages, has had better games. For example, there's a Super Nintendo Batman the Animated Series game. It's like $100. I'm not going to drop that on one cartridge. But man, is it cool. You get to do detective work. It looks like the cartoon. Fantastic. What does Spider-Man have on the Super Nintendo? Maximum Carnage? Okay. Spider-Man 94? Okay. I guess Batman's had the best games overall. But Spider-Man's had the most. And I've had the most fun with them. Let's see. Mareth Aline, thank you very much. Heading to work. I'll see all you bullshippers in the next video. Mareth Aline, thank you very much for everything that you do. I appreciate you, man, and I'll be talking to you soon. Jeff, just want to thank you for not getting caught up on all the Comicsgate BS and reporting on it in every video like the rest of those guys. I guess we need to have this talk. I'm world-class bullshitters. I'm my own thing. I'm part of the High Council. I'm friends with Ethan and Jeremy. And the other guys, I know who they are, but I don't know them personally. That's not what this channel's about. We've always called ourselves an entertainment channel. Maybe we do talk a lot about geek culture because it's what I'm invested in, it's what I have a knowledge of. But like today, we didn't really talk about Comicsgate stuff. We talked about Denny O'Neil, and maybe we circled the drain of what is the comic book industry, the toilet. But I don't get invested in that. That is not my bread and butter. That's not my cup of tea. And I've had breakfast, but I'm still kind of hungry. That is not what I get down with. So, no, I won't be covering that stuff. That is not for this channel. I try not to cover too many Star Wars rumors and release videos. It's part of what Good Morning Pop Culture is. And as soon as I can get this channel, the other channel monetized, expect, videos there. And today's video is going to be, like I told you guys, the remnants of Toys R Us. I love going out and I love producing the videos for you to watch. Couple reasons. First off, it's a lot easier to go out and spend hours filming and then editing it than it is to write a script, which is easy, and recording it, which is also easy to edit, but then to come with images and all this other stuff. If I can just find a way to write these really in-depth reviews or criticisms or critiques, and then find some kind of thing that you guys would watch consistently, I would do that. Be it gameplay or something like that. I don't know what would be the imagery to keep you guys hooked that I could put out in a manageable manner, but whatever it is, we'll always be true to what we are here on the channel. We make fun of shit. I critique entertainment and writers and people that write these journalists in quotation marks. I'm not really afraid to lampoon those things, but I don't get into the drama. I don't really cover too much drama. It's just not who I am. It's not what I feel good about. I'm proud of everything I put out on this channel. Some days I'm a little tired or, off a beat with this show because it's early. But overall, I'm proud of what I put out there, and I stand by it. And, I don't have to hide behind whatever. I make myself known who I am, and I'm not bothered by what I put out. Let's see. Worst and best case scenario for predictions for episode 9. That's a good way to close out the show. Worst case scenario, it makes $2 billion and Star Wars makes, it makes everybody happy. That's the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, I like it. That's the worst case scenario possible. All joking aside, I'm going to guess worst case scenario for them is the movie makes sub $1 billion. The toy line, there's no Force Friday 4 or whatever it would be called. And people just don't go out and see it. Best case scenario for them would be worst case scenario for us. Makes $2 billion and everyone's like, oh, that was a small hate group online. Nah. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Ooh, the Last Jedi toys here in Italy are 70% to 80% discounted. Nobody wants those toys. If you're in Italy, America, South America, China, Japan, USSR. I'm thinking of Street Fighter. Sorry, folks. I really love Street Fighter. Now that I got these old PS2 games to play, I dusted off the Street Fighter collection for PS2. If you got any old PS2 games lying around, send them to World Class Bullshitters. We'll archive them, we'll catalog them, and we'll add them to the collection. If anybody's got an old copy of SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, that's what we're looking for. Do I think Episode 9 can be the best in the sequel trilogy just as Episode 3 was the best in the prequel trilogy? Yes, I do, Darth Hammer. Why? Because it sucks so bad already. You really have nowhere to go but up, in theory. Do I want it to be worse than Episode 8? I don't think I could physically or emotionally handle another Episode 8 viewing, let alone a movie worse than Episode 8. Another worst case scenario for me is that it tries to be Marvel with jokes every 2 seconds. They tried it before and it didn't work, and they keep trying it. Star Wars is not a humor-filled movie. It has humor, but it occurs naturally. It's not written in like, joke here. What the hell are you doing? Somebody has to save our skins. Into the garbage chute flyboy. That works. That kind of stuff really, really works. But do I talk? Do you talk? How do we start? Your mama jokes in Star Wars? No thanks. This is a galaxy far, far away, and a long time ago. I don't think they're making your mama jokes. This isn't the 90s anymore. So, let's see. Who was my favorite character in Street Fighter? Ken in the red gi. Very specifically, it's got to be Ken in the red gi. So when he was introduced in Super Smash Bros., or at least he will be, I was very excited. Love Ken. I will be playing as Ken. My team, if there's a team in Smash Bros. I will play as, it will be Link. Hopefully I can get the Ocarina of Time suit, or at least the green outfit, because I don't like the blue. Solid Snake and Ken. Those are going to be my 3 characters that I use the most. I just love those video game characters outside of, that. So I hate the MCU formula. It's utter cancer. Hey, you can hate it all you want, Kenny Powers. I'm just glad you enjoy World Class Bullshitters. That's all I can say, man. Think that Joker movie would do better than Aquaman is seemingly getting rave reviews. I don't think the Joker movie is going to be as bad as some people think, but I don't think it's going to catch on. I think we still live in a world where people are in love with the Heath Ledger Joker. 10 years, he's been dead over 10 years at this point. We have not gotten over him. Collectively, I can take myself out, but as the collective we, people still are making the comparison to him. People want more of his Joker and stuff like that. If the Joker movie's great, I'll be the first one to tell you, because I'll go see it. I won't be the first person to see Birds of Prey or Suicide Squad 2. I've been burned. I don't care about any more Harley Quinn or, Girls' Night Out, the superhero movie. You want to have Batgirl? Introduce her. You introduce a better Jim Gordon. And I don't mean better actor. I mean a better, more fleshed out character. Jim Gordon in the Justice League film was like Jim Gordon in the Batman 1966 Adam West television series. He's there, and that's kind of about it. I was watching Batman the Animated Series working on the page, and there's a lot going on with Jim Gordon, and we haven't seen that in film, ever. I take it back. We haven't seen it since the Nolan era. I would buy the Gary Oldman Nolan fathering Barbara Gordon, and then I'm okay with it. Did I say Gary Oldman Nolan? I meant to say Gary Oldman Jim Gordon, so if I said it there, I corrected myself. Let's see. Thank you, Gamepad31, and thank you to Kenny Powers. Do I have a reaction to Ken and Smash Brothers? Yeah, excitement. I went, yes. I watched the Nintendo Directs very casually. I was happy and sad. I only picked up one Nintendo game on Black Friday, but I did get my copy of Donkey Kong Jungle Freeze, and that's what that sound is. Tropical Freeze. I'll play this eventually. Maybe over the weekend after the Star Wars stream, I'll get into some Super Smash or some Donkey Kong Jungle Freeze. If The Last Jedi was any good, I would have owned all the Luke Skywalker action figures. Well, thankfully, the movie sucked, and you can get Jake Skywalker for pennies on the dollar. So, folks, I think it is time for me to close out this stream. It's been another very successful Good Morning Pop Culture. I'd like to take the time again to thank everybody who joins me every single day here on this channel. We couldn't do it without all of you. Both, guys and ladies. For the 3 ladies that show up, we still appreciate you a lot. But I'll be back tonight. The High Council's here. Like I said, Ethan's week was last week. Jeremy won't be here, so I'm taking his week, and then Jeremy will take my week, and then it'll go back to Ethan, and then that'll be our new rotation of Ethan, me, Jeremy, instead of Ethan, Jeremy, me. It won't matter to you guys, because I always keep you up to date on when we do the High Council, where we have the High Council. So, I do not have a reaction recorded for Ken on Smash Brothers. Sorry. I don't record my reactions to anything. I tried doing a reaction video once. I watched it and I was like, I look like a dick. See, there's this YouTube channel that's local, and I used to consider myself in competition with them, and they were beating me badly. I was like, man, how can I beat them? How can I beat them? And then I stopped trying to beat them. I just worried about what I want to do and how we interact, you to me to you. And now it's not even a race. So it's funny. I see them out at the movie because they always go to do their movie reviews and stuff right away. And they just kind of give me this glare because they used to, brag to me and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I finally passed you guys. I was even like mean about it. I was just like, yeah, I've been working really hard. We're at this number now. And then they just were like, so they don't want to talk anymore. They don't want to gloat because they can't. But I didn't do it on my own. We did it together as a community. So, folks, thank you again for hanging out with us. I'll be back tonight with the High Council, tomorrow with Good Morning Pop Culture. And if you can't wait for the High Council, I got good news. I got a video coming out in about an hour. So, while you wait, enjoy the replay of this, and then go over to Good Morning Pop Culture and give that a thumbs up. And give us a thumbs up on your way out as well. This week on Patreon, you guys are going to get your next James Bond commentary. I think I'll put that up tomorrow. It'll be for your eyes only. Our buddy American Trent joined us, so it's Nick, Kendo, Trent, and myself. And we do discuss this Bond very heavily. So if you enjoy our James Bond discussions, this is a good one for you. And then be prepared because the success of Star Wars on Saturday determines if we do a Christmas stream closer to the holidays. So, folks, thank you very much for everything, and I will catch you next time.